Code Red weather app now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a woman attacks a WeGo bus driver with a knife and is now facing charges. A report showing a slight drop in the number of people who are unhoused in Nashville. We're going to tell you what Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell had to say about the efforts to provide housing.
And yesterday was our first 90-degree day of the year, and we're just getting started. A few more hot days, but also looking ahead to our next weather maker and storms in your forecast.
Ready, set, go on your Tuesday. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning. I'm Justin McFarland, just after 4 a.m. We begin this morning with a woman who is charged with attempted murder after witnesses say that she attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. Now, Metro Police say this all happened when the driver told Derica Savali to sit down and be quiet. Police say that she then pulled out a knife. Now, the driver tried to get away and was hurt in the process. She was eventually arrested on Gallatin Pike near Bradley Parkway at the overpass. Now, we want to hear from you about this particular situation. Do you feel safe on public transit here in the city of Nashville? 85% of you say no. Another 14% of you say yes. You can cast your vote right now. The poll is brand new, just put up a short time ago. You can do so by scanning that QR code at the side of your screen. You can also check in with us over on our Fox Nashville X page. You can reach us at Fox Nashville. Tragic and sad story out of Murfreesboro. That is where a woman is charged with murder and abuse in the death of her 1-month-old baby. Police were responding to a call last April. That's when they said they found Jelani Patton's baby unresponsive. The 25-year-old told officers that her son hit his head after falling off of a bed. The medical examiner says that the boy died of blunt force trauma, and what happened to that little boy was no accident. Patton is now being held on a $250,000 bond. Well, happening today, the Kentucky primary elections are taking place. Polling locations are going to be open from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Presidential primaries for both the Democratic and Republican parties will be voted on today. Now, 5 districts are holding primary races for United States Representative. Kentucky state and local elections are also on the ballot, including primary contest for state senator and state representative. Again, polls opened up at 6 a.m. and will close at 6 p.m. We'll have results coming up this evening on Fox 17 News at 9.
402, still warm, still muggy, and we did it yesterday. We had all hints going that direction to hit 90 degrees or above, and we were there. 91, the official high temperature at the airport. So first 90-degree day of the year. The average first day is about a week away, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule. We'll take a look and we'll talk about what that means throughout the morning, but we were close to a record. Missed it by a degree, and that was set back in 1944. So take a look there. Just keep that in mind that we're talking about heat that's a little bit above what we're supposed to be. Now, you give this a month or two from now, hitting 90, kind of run-of-the-mill for us. It happens quite frequently. Could today be a repeat performance? I see many indications that it will be. With how we're waking up this morning, the amount of sunshine we're going to have, we will be right around 90 to 92 degrees again this afternoon. Stormy to end the week. Storms return tomorrow, especially overnight into Thursday and Friday. Memorial Day thoughts, unfortunately, are not completely dry. Chance for a shower or storm will be there. Here's what today works out hour by hour. We'll stay in the 60s through 7 o'clock, middle 70s by 9, and then high temperatures easily middle to upper 80s noon through 1 and 2 o'clock. So the heat cranks up a little bit sooner than it did yesterday. Maybe you're itching to get the car washed, have the car looking great, you know, cruising around town with the fresh vehicle when it's sunny and 90 out. Summer feels right there. However, I would say tap the brakes on that. Maybe tomorrow. I would say wait, though, Thursday through Monday with those chances for a few scattered showers and storms. You'll see them right here on the 7-day forecast. 92 degrees today, 89 tomorrow, middle to low 80s to round out the week before we stay unsettled and stay warmer for the weekend. We'll talk much more about Labor Day weekend in a little bit.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you out the door here to I-65 at Trinity Lane there on the north side. We are doing really nice out there so far this morning. No big problems in either direction. Of course, things are always, and I mean always, subject to change. We will be trying to get those changes for you coming up here on Fox 17 News this morning. So we're live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. As more people are moving to Nashville, there is growing concern about homelessness. But the annual volunteer-led counting effort showed slightly fewer Nashvillians were found living without a permanent housing place this year versus last year. That's according to results released by the Metro Office of Homeless Services. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live this morning in front of the Nashville Rescue Mission to break down what she found.
Good morning, Justin. A one-night snapshot by the Office of Homeless Services shows that around 2,000 people experienced homelessness on January the 25th and the early morning of January the 26th. Places like this one behind me, the Nashville Rescue Mission, aiming to help the unhoused, but sometimes too full. The results of the city's 2024 point-in-time count did show a decrease of fewer people who were homeless this year than last. It showed that homelessness decreased by 1.6%. The count includes people sleeping outside and other places not meant to live in. This year, more than 100 volunteers performed the count. The results, however, did show an increase from 2023 to 2024 compared to 2022 to 2023 of those experiencing homelessness. Here's Mayor Freddie O'Connell that points out the focus to help address this homelessness issue needs to be affordable housing.
I think that that success rate is also a challenge going forward, though, for encampments because, we'll open the Strobel house and that will be several dozen homes for people that are experiencing chronic homelessness. But we know that we've got to continue to make progress with that $50 million investment from a couple of years ago to ensure that we are creating more of that type of housing for people experiencing homelessness.
The Metro Office of Homeless Services suggests that you volunteer with a community partner if you want to help those who are experiencing homelessness. For more information, you can head to nashville.gov. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Well, coming up, the man accused of killing a Tennessee teacher while out on bond will be spending decades behind bars for another crime. And former President Trump's criminal hush money trial is approaching its end. The explosive events from yesterday and the date planned for closing arguments. 4:09 is the time. The man accused of killing a Memphis teacher who was out for a jog will spend decades behind bars for another crime. A judge sentenced Cleophile Abston to 80 years in prison for the 2021 rape that happened there in Memphis. Now, apparently he met a woman online, then attacked her at gunpoint. He was out on bond. In this particular case, when Memphis police say that he kidnapped and killed a Memphis teacher, Eliza Fletcher. Fletcher was out for a jog early one morning when police say that he grabbed her off of the streets. This happened back in 2022. Victims' advocates argue that a backlog in rape kit testing kept him on the streets, leading to Elijah Fletcher's death. From Memphis to Clarksville this morning, and this is a road rage situation that you don't always see. It's between two 18-wheelers. Our Clarksville Police Department spokesperson says that a semi-truck sideswiped another semi-truck, forcing that truck off the road, and then the truck took off from the scene. They're looking for it now. Police say it happened on I-24 near Exit 8 around 2 p.m. yesterday. That's when one tractor trailer sideswiped another tractor trailer there on the interstate, sending the other tractor trailer off of the road and into the tree line. Now, the woman who was driving that tractor trailer that went off the road was hurt and shaken up. Police are now searching for the other semi-truck driver that left the scene. They say he should have some damage to the right side of the trailer. If you have any information about this, again, Exit 8 on I-24 yesterday, you're asked to contact the Clarksville Police Department. Former President Donald Trump returns to court today as we are getting closer and closer to the end of this criminal hush money trial. Now, the former federal prosecutor, Robert Costello, is expected to return to the witness stand today. One of Trump's lawyers says that the defense does not plan to call any other witnesses after Costello. Trump is not expected to testify. Now, this was after a very explosive day happened yesterday. That is where the former Trump attorney, Michael Cohen, admitted that he stole around $30,000 from the Trump organization. The judge says that the judge in this case says he expects closing arguments to happen on Tuesday, May the 28th. So we'll continue to watch that particular trial there in New York.
Coming up in your forecast here, we could hit 90 degrees once again. There's Lower Broadway. It is wet, but look at the top left-hand side of your screen. That ain't from rain. They're just washing down last night to gear up for a Tuesday. How long will stay this warm? Coming up in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the north side. That's 65 there at Trinity Lane. We're doing okay so far. No big problems across the city. We'll continue to watch things for you. And a teen's father is now facing charges after she died riding on an ATV on her birthday. We'll be right back.
In Madison.
4:14 is the time. Live look there from the Capitol Dome of Washington, D.C. That is where we're expected to hear big news from the banking community later today, as the chairwoman of the FDIC is expected to resign. This is after reports of a toxic work environment inside of the agency. So we're going to be hearing more about that, I'm sure, coming up here a little bit later in the day. Looks like a very peaceful morning so far, though, in Washington. Operation Crime and Justice. The father of a teen who was killed in an ATV crash last Monday in Nashville is now facing multiple charges, including criminally negligent homicide involving a minor. Police say that it was a 14-year-old named Melody Mosqueda who died in that ATV crash when she was riding. She died in that ATV after she was in the driver's side there of that Jeep on Darbytown Drive. They say that Victor and Melanie let another teen ride that ATV without supervision. Melanie died at the hospital the day after the crash. Victor was taken into custody yesterday and has now been released on bond. We'll get more details on the story as it unfolds. We do have an update today, as the body of a Columbia State professor killed in an accident during a trip to Brazil has now been recovered. Now, the university says that the associate professor, Clifford Gordon, was swept away by a big wave on the Oceanside Road. 3 students who were with him got caught up in that wave, but they are doing okay. Gordon had been working at Columbia State since 2008. Happening now, the possibility of a brand new fire station in downtown Nashville is now on the table. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is on Lower Broadway, where the new station would be built. You can see it right there. Metro Council members will take up the discussion during the application coming up tonight. They are aiming to replace a parking lot at 2nd Avenue there on Broadway with this brand new construction. As you can take a look there at the busy streets there. That is Broadway there at 3rd Avenue there. So it'll be a little bit further down where that parking lot is. They want to fill it there with a brand new downtown fire and emergency services center. A resolution to support the plan is now on the agenda at tonight's Metro Council meeting. We'll see how the council votes on this a little bit later this evening. In wicked weather, a tornado yesterday caused havoc at a lake there in Kansas. This is very close to Kansas City, Kansas there, and the Kansas City, Missouri, right at the state line. Now, they say that the storm damage flipped over a boat dock and damaged other parts of that lake. Again, that is there in Kansas City, Kansas, on that side of the state line. So let's get to Greg right now. He's got a look at your forecast here as we get you Tuesday morning. Greg, what can people expect out there?
Pretty much just like yesterday.
Warm,
and maybe even a
hot.
little sunnier. Hot, straight up. Yep. We'll be right near 90 degrees later on this afternoon, just like yesterday. And then tomorrow, things will begin to change and get us into a different weather pattern that'll bring back some showers and storms that'll help us round out the week. But just kind of plan today like you did yesterday when it comes to comfort levels, clothing, all of that. 69 degrees right now, so we're still warm. We're still that warm right now at 4 o'clock in the morning, meaning that we're going to start the day warm, load it up with sun, and crank it right back up near 90. We're crystal clear. Taking a look, not terribly sticky yet. A little bit of mugginess out there, but you're going to have that elevated Wednesday into Thursday when the rain begins to move in and we're still warm. You get just that uncomfortable feeling. So humidity on the rise throughout the rest of this week. Pollen counts, though, as the humidity is going up, those will go down. The more rain we get and the more showers we get periodically, the more we knock that pollen out of the atmosphere. But today, you will notice it. Today will be actually worse than yesterday was for pollen. And then tomorrow, once the rain finally does arrive, that's when we're going to see those numbers begin to fall. Today, one click of the button works you through it. Tons of sun, cloud here or there. No surprises. Here's tomorrow, though. I'm adding this in. I'm believing this is actually how we're going to have to work this out. We're adding some rain to tomorrow morning. Here's 5 a.m. going through right around 8 o'clock, and then we get a break late morning. So early morning rain, break late in the morning, and then afternoon hours looking dry too for your Wednesday. It will be then 7 o'clock into the overnight when a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms track into the area. As of right now, west of I-65 could see a strong storm or two. Our eyes are glued to it. If we start seeing any more indications, this could be a code red overnight tomorrow night into Thursday. Again, that's our main focus once we get past today's heat.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's take a quick look at what we're dealing with there. That's the north side of town, 65 at Trinity Lane. You can see it there for yourself. We're doing fine. Let's get to I-40 at Fessler's. That's east of downtown. We're also doing well over there in that area. We'll continue to follow things, let you know exactly whatever pops up with Steer clear traffic as we're live and local with you through 9. Well, let's talk about what's happening in the banking community. A federal institution chairman is now stepping down. This is following reports of a toxic workplace culture. Now, the White House says that Barton Greenbrier, the chairman of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or the FDIC, will soon resign as a replacement is chosen. The move follows calls from the top Democrat on the Senate Banking Committee to remove him from his position. A report last week by the independent law firm found more than 500 complaints of stalking and harassment and homophobia at the FDIC. In the meantime, Greenbrier has held various positions within the FDIC for nearly 20 years. Well, coming up, the Tennessee Titans and their season ticket holders will get a very special first look at the brand new Nissan Stadium experience. We're going to tell you what we're learning about Titans House. And pro golfer Scottie Scheffler will have his day in court after being arrested outside of the PGA Championship a few days ago. We're going to tell you exactly when he's expected in court back in Louisville.
The better.
4:24 is the time. Live look there from downtown Nashville across the Cumberland River. This is from our LNC Tower there. You can see the Batman building over into South and East Nashville there. We are expecting another very warm and hazy day. Greg Bobus has got the details for us coming up here in the next few minutes. We're new this morning. We are learning more about the Tennessee Titans House. That is the new Nissan Stadium Experience Center. Now, Titans House is going to be an immersive experience with virtual stadium models and other displays. It's going to give season ticket buyers and suite holders, as well as business partners and other interested parties, a look at the layout and design of the new venue. Titans House is located in Germantown at the corner of Taylor Street and 6th Avenue. Now, the construction company in charge of the experience talked about the place where they were putting this together. It's a very old building there in Germantown. They talked about some of the challenges of trying to operate in such an old building.
You know, this is such a unique project. You have a building that's over 100 years old, so it had a couple of challenges that come with the building. But when you look at what the design consultants Elevate, what they put together for this space, it just turned out phenomenal.
Well, Titan's House is available by appointment only to current season ticket holders and those on the new Nissan Stadium wait list. An update this morning as the arraignment for the pro golfer Scottie Scheffler has now been moved to Monday, June the 3rd. Scheffler is set to be arraigned in court on charges including felony assault on a police officer and criminal mischief, as well as reckless driving. Now, Scheffler was trying to enter the Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville for the second round of the PGA Championship. Louisville police say they were working a traffic fatality when Scheffler tried to drive past their barrier. They say when officers tried to stop Scheffler, he accelerated forward and then dragged the officer to the ground. Now, Scheffler and his attorney are denying these allegations.
426, looking ahead here to Memorial Day weekend. We're already making the plans. Maybe you already have the plans. You just need to know what's going to happen while we're trying to, navigate through them. Saturday and Sunday, both going to be warm, mid to upper 80s. There will be some hit and miss storms, especially on Saturday. Sunday itself looking a little less stormy. Memorial Day, unfortunately, there will be a chance for a few pop-up storms. They will be likely. Here's my thoughts on the day of Memorial Day itself. Multiple rounds of storms are possible for the entire weekend. That does include Memorial Day. However, the severe threat remains low. The big issue I want to watch out for very carefully is heavy rainfall leading to standing water by the time we get into Memorial Day, because we're going to have tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that will all bring in decent rain and some weak thunderstorms. Again, the severe threat remains low throughout that entire time frame. Best way to keep track of all this when you're trying to have a holiday weekend and kind of tune out to a lot of other things is to tune into the Code Red weather app. It's not going to bother you unless you need to know what's happening or you want to look at the radar. Open it up, you get our radar right there, or if we do have any severe storms, it'll only go off for the county that you live in.
Stay clear traffic. Let's get outside to I-40 at Fester's Lane. That is just east of downtown. You can see traffic there moving along without incident. We're doing just fine as you get out and about this morning. Same can be said at I-40 at Donaldson Pike near the airport. Also doing well. We've got to check in on some other areas of town coming up in a few. Well, coming up, a major TBI investigation arresting several men charged with taking advantage of children. And housing prices in Nashville are pushing locals out of the market and out of the city. We've got more on the growing crisis.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News this morning, the TBI has conducted an investigation arresting men across the state, accusing them of harming minors.
The Metro Office of Homeless Services released new numbers indicating how many people they counted out in the streets for one night. Coming up, I'll tell you those results and what the mayor plans to do about it.
And the forecast warm already, right near 70 degrees. We could aim for 90 once again. We really tapped the brakes on temperature and reintroduce storms coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Stay clear traffic takes us out to I-40 at Donaldson Pike, very close to the airport. You can see how traffic moving along there is doing fine. We're going to tell you about some other areas of town coming up in a few. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4:30 here on your Tuesday. And I'm Justin McFarland. Let's get to Operation Crime and Justice. That's where the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says they have arrested 12 men that they claim sexually exploited children across state lines, and they did it online. Now, these are some of the suspects here. The group includes 3 men from McMinnville, 3 from Paris, Tennessee, and 1 each from places like Columbia and Murfreesboro. Agents say some of the men posed as teens and got minors to send them inappropriate images and then threatened to expose the children if they didn't send them gift cards or even more pictures.
We must watch where our children go online. We must know who they're talking to. And we must have the hard conversations to guide our children.
The TBI has identified 18 sextortion victims between the ages of 11 and 17. The children used to make sexual exploitation material were between the ages of 6 and 12. As more people move to the city of Nashville, there's a growing concern about homelessness across the city. But the annual volunteer-led counting effort showed slightly few homeless people were found in Nashville this year versus last year. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is live there this morning in front of the Nashville Rescue Mission to break it down for us.
Good morning, Justin. On January the 25th until the early morning hours of January the 26th, dozens of people took to the streets of Nashville to see how many people were experiencing homelessness. They counted around 2,000 people for just that one night. People that couldn't be inside shelters like this one behind me, the Nashville Rescue Mission, that aims to help the unhoused, but sometimes too full. Here are the results of the city's 2024 point-in-time count. It showed fewer people were homeless this year than last by 1.6%. The count includes people sleeping outside and other places not meant to live in. The count also includes those who are in transitional housing and emergency shelters. Although the one-night snapshot showed a slight decrease in those experiencing homelessness, the results also showed an increase from 2022 to 2024. Here's Mayor Freddie O'Connell that tells us what the city is planning to do about this homelessness crisis.
Soon we will open our first public permanent supportive housing facility, the Strobel House, where residents can connect directly in the same building where they live with the services and resources that they need. The homes there are designed specifically for people likeliest to experience chronic homelessness.
He says the biggest issue here and the focus will be on helping to find affordable housing for those that need it, with the rising rent prices and the low wages that we're seeing here in Nashville. Metro Office of Homeless Services suggests that if you want to help those who are experiencing homelessness, you can volunteer with a community partner. And for more information, you can head to nashville.gov. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
4:54, we're starting off warm. Right side of your screen, we have temps that are still in the 60s, near 70 degrees. So what's new this morning? Well, going back to yesterday, we talked about it all morning long, that we could hit 90 for the first time this year. And we did. We hit 91 degrees. That was 1 degree shy of a temperature record set back in the 1940s. Now today, up near 90 degrees again. Then tomorrow through Monday, scattered showers and storms will be on the radar every single day. Does that mean that everyone gets rain every day? No. It just means that there are going to be pockets of showers and storms that do develop. Tomorrow is a good chance that many of us will see at least something, and then everything becomes pop-up variety. Coming back to here and now, though. Weather impacting traffic? Nope, not so much today. We're staying dry. A little mugginess as you walk to the car and you get, from point A to point B, but that's pretty much it. A very sunny start once the sun comes up for us. Abundant, barely a cloud in the sky. 7-day forecast, we don't keep the heat for that much longer. Today, 92, tomorrow, 89. And then as the storms move in, the cloud cover takes over. That always knocks down temperature. We'll be at 85 on Thursday, 82 on Friday. Memorial Day weekend, all 3 days will come with their chances for showers and thunderstorms that we'll continue to monitor and also talk you through all the rest of this morning.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. That is out and about there on the south and east side towards Antioch. You can see there traffic moving along really nicely. No big problems. Same can be said for your drive times. As we get you out the door, 27 minutes from Mount Juliet, 50 minutes from Murfreesboro, 26 minutes in from Hendersonville. We'll continue to watch things for you.
Having to leave was one of the most difficult things that I've done.
News from the economy this morning. The high home prices are pushing some people out of the city of Nashville and out of the state in general. Local housing shortages are a big reason to blame for the skyrocketing prices. Now, thanks to rapid growth, a new report shows that Nashville needs to gain 5,000 housing units per year to keep up. Local realtor and former Fox 17 News member Craig Edwards says that this comes as the construction rate is down more than 30%.
We don't have the houses, the number of houses that we need, the number of homes out there. So that creates a tremendous demand on the ones that we do have. And that in turn helps raise those prices.
For people struggling to buy a house in this market, Craig Edwards suggests meeting with your lender to get your financing ready to go. He also says there's still a lot of programs out there to help with money. Edwards also says you may want to check out houses outside of the city of Nashville. But coming up, solar storms are creating beautiful light shows and big problems for farmers. We're going to tell you why the effects could give this year's crops a little bit of trouble. And snakes in electric substations. The number of unexpected outages that surprise snakes have caused right here in the Mid-State. Plus, Fox 17 News is your only location where you can get your traffic and weather conditions together. We've got it for you here, live for you from 4 until 9. Meteorologist Greg Bobus is tracking temperatures across the Mid-State, and I've got your traffic look as well. We'll be right back.
Watch
4:40 is the time. Those beautiful pink, green, blue, and purple aurora skies may cause some farmers to see red in their bottom line. Now, the geomagnetic storms hitting the earth from the ongoing solar flares produce beautiful northern lights. But some farmers across the United States and Canada are having trouble getting their crops in the ground during key planting seasons. Now, the flares and storms are zapping global positioning signals many farmers use to steer their tractors and find boundaries on the road and irrigation systems as well. One Nebraska farmer says the entire operation has been shut down. Experts say the full effects will not be known until the crops actually come up. Well, Middle Tennessee Electric is reporting 4 unusual outages in the last 10 days. And it's because of snakes. Yes, that's right. I'm saying snakes. The agency says that the snakes are climbing up the power poles and causing outages. It's very similar to when you trip a breaker at your house. Now, MTE says they have tried multiple snake repellents, but none of them are working.
Yeah, learning here's something new every day.
I don't even know how to respond to that, Greg. I mean, that is bizarre. So yeah, make sure that you, yes.
Well, and then also, I mean, are the snakes still alive after they get up there? Are they just falling off? There's a lot of questions I don't even want the answers to. I'll give you the answers to your forecast, though. We're starting off here dry on Doppler radar. This is the last morning. We won't be watching toward the west for something moving in for the rest of the day. What to wear today? Completely the exact same stuff you were wearing yesterday when it comes to comfort level. So whatever you wore that was, manageable for the afternoon, today you should be in a very good position as well, because temperature is going to be very similar to start. Up and out the door here on this May 21st to temperatures that are still in the 60s to right near 70. You'll see them on the right side of your screen. That's not changing all the way through 7. Then a quick warm up gets us back into the 80s by about noon. And then we skyrocket near 90 right in the middle of the day. So lunchtime, you'll see that temperature change for you here. We'll talk about 11 o'clock, 83, all the way up to 87 completely sunny degrees at 3 p.m.
Circular traffic takes us to the north side. Let's get to I-65 at Trinity Lane up there. Traffic moving along pretty well without any major problems. We're doing okay. We're also watching things over on the east side. This is going to be I-40 at Fessler's. Also looking pretty good out there for your traffic. If something does pop up, we've got you covered live and local through 9. Well, coming up, unlicensed taxis are tricking Nashville locals. Real taxi companies are pushing for tighter regulations. And one tech company says that artificial intelligence will start predicting what you want to do on your laptop. We've got more on that in a few minutes.
Why up?
4:44 is the time. Continuing coverage on unlicensed taxis that are creating problems in Music City. A local cab company is demanding more regulations to try and protect drivers, locals, and tourists. Now, Shelley Williams is the operation manager at Nash Vegas Cab Corporation. Williams tells us that they are taking a financial hit with the increase in unlicensed taxis. That's because their company pays thousands of dollars in permit fees and insurance that fraudulent companies do not pay for. She also says that fake taxis charge outrageous prices, including using a meter which is required here in Metro Nashville, and says that if a taxi driver leaves the company, it can lead to other types of problems.
And within 72 hours, they have to remove their logos, they have to remove their equipment professionally, and they have to get their cab back to the original color that it was.
Well, Fox 17 reached out to the Transportation License Commission for an interview. They said they were not available at all yesterday. We'll continue to follow up with them. The TLC does say they are aware of reports of people posing as taxis and saying that they are working with enforcement staff to address this issue. Well, happening now, there's a possibility of a brand new fire station in downtown Nashville that is on the table. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is live this morning on Lower Broadway, where the new station would be built. Now, the Metro Council will be discussing an application tonight. It's aiming to replace a parking lot on 2nd Avenue and Broadway. You can see it right in there, with a brand new downtown fire and emergency medical services center. Now, there was a fire station not too far from the Metro Jail, but it has since been closed. And so there's been talk about trying to get another fire station there in downtown. Of course, they've got the main one over off of Hermitage Avenue, not too far away from here. But the plan is to try and put something there on Broadway. They've got it on the agenda at tonight's Metro Council meeting. We'll let you know what the council says. In national news, the Environmental Protection Agency is now warning of cybersecurity threats to public water systems. Now, the agency says 70% of the water utilities it inspects does not meet the standards from the Safe Drinking Water Act to prevent attacks. Some problems found include outdated passwords and easily compromised login information. National security officials say letters have been sent to governors across the United States about the threats. And China, Russia, and Iran have already disrupted water services with cyber attacks. Microsoft says your laptop will soon know so much about you, it will figure out what you want even before you do. The company says the new artificial intelligent chatbots will remember everything you do on your computer, which it will then use to help figure out what you want to do next. Of course, this is raising some major concerns about privacy and security online and whether the AI can be deactivated. The software company unveiled an updated version of its Copilot, as they call it, as competition revs up with other big tech companies. Have you seen this? I know I have. It's been popping up as of late, asking me if I want to do things that I haven't asked for at all. Well, this news comes after just 1 week after AI announcements from Google there as well. There's going to be lots of advancement in this field. Fox 17 News is going to continue to stay on top of it, tell you what's going to come up next. All right, 4:49 is the time. Greg Bobus is standing by. He's not AI at all. He's actual intelligence. So he's a different kind of AI, if you want to use it that way. He's taking a look at your forecast here.
I like that.
I just made that up right here.
Right there on this. I love it.
Because I've got actual intelligence as well. How about
yes, you do. And you're going to be hitting us with some of that here on the roads in just a couple of seconds. So I'll cover the other half, and then we'll just dive into everything to get people started here on this Tuesday morning. The actual forecast for you is going to be hot again. I can tell you that right now. I'm looking at what happened yesterday, comparing that to today, how we're starting and where we go. We're all clear. We're dry until tomorrow. Then you've got to pay attention to the forecast each day, Wednesday through Monday of next week. That includes Memorial Day, when there will be a chance for a few showers. And then clamber our way into the 80s very quickly by 10 o'clock. Maybe you're walking outside for lunchtime here and you go, whoa, we're already in the upper 80s. Good bet that by about 1, 2 o'clock, we're close to 90 already. And I bet we hit around 91, 92 later on this afternoon. Today, nothing on future track, just like yesterday. There'll be a few periods of some brief cloud cover, but all in all, hot and relatively calm. Tomorrow morning, I have introduced one thing to us here. The chance for a shower or thunderstorm in the morning hours right along the Tennessee River. This is 5 a.m. through 8 a.m. We get a break late morning into early afternoon where things die down. However, we're not done for the day. This is right near sunset. 7 o'clock going into the overnight. Broken showers and storms will move through. West of I-65 could even get a stronger storm or two the first half of tomorrow night. And then waking up Thursday morning to a few scattered showers and storms. That'll be your first morning that is active before the sun even comes up for many of us. Today, though, back to the here and now. Flight cast. This is becoming more and more popular day to day, getting closer to Memorial Day. People trying to get away or bring folks into town. 75 degrees at 9 o'clock, 89 degrees at 3. BNA will not give us any problems when it comes to our weather back home. That's how we like to keep it. 69 degrees right now at the airport, 11 flight delays, and there is one cancellation right now that is on the big board.
Circular traffic gets us out and about this morning. Let's get the very latest here on I-40. This is at Dallas and Pike, close to the airport. You can see out there traffic moving along really nicely. No major tie-ups or hold-ups out there near BNA. Of course, this can be one of the busiest cameras of the morning at 4:51, but right now we're looking really good and no major accidents anywhere else. We'll be sure to watch it for you here live through 9. Fox 17 News investigates a lawsuit against a one-of-a-kind cattle operation near the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Now, Tennessee's Attorney General sued the Browning Cattle Company. Now, the suit comes as is coming from a person there in Clay County. The Clay County operations is causing high levels of E. coli in nearby creeks.
Our farm lifestyle and our way of life is under siege here with this cattle operation and has been for 2 years.
Browning has done everything that any government entity has asked for.
The company pressed pause on all of its operation, but ultimately wants to bring 9,000 head of cattle. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino breaks down the cattle battle. Coming up tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. Well, also coming up, Tennessee State University taking aim at the music industry, giving students a chance to make their big break. Thanks for waking up with us right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Could be another day towards 90 degrees. Greg Bobus has got the details, and I've got your traffic when we come back. 4:55 is the time. Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. You should take a look from Nissan Stadium, home of the Tennessee Titans, at least for the next 3 seasons. Okay, so they'll be there this season, next season, the following season, and then in 2027, they hope they'll be ready to move into the brand new dome. When they do, they won't have to worry about 90-degree temperatures like we do today. Greg Bobus will have the details on that coming up in a few. Some Honda drivers need to take a trip to the dealership. All right, listen up. More than 187,000 Honda Ridgeline trucks have been recalled because of a rear view camera issue. Honda says electric wiring tied to the camera could break in cold weather. Now, that could prevent the driver from getting the proper rear view image, which could cause a crash. Honda says they've already received over 400 claims talking about this issue earlier in the month. So far, there's been no related injuries or death because of the problem with that backup camera. Tennessee State University is growing its musical talent right here in Music City. The university is now offering a brand new Music Business Accelerator course. Now, not only does the 3-week program give students the tools they need to navigate through the entertainment business, it also helps them network with some of the top talent across the country.
We're meeting special people every day, and so every day is an opportunity to make connections, to further my position in the world and learn from others around me.
Def Jam Records is also taking part of this particular program. Look at that happy bunch right there.
That's what it's about right there. And taking a look at maybe a happy bunch of people yesterday, or people walking around just not buying it here. We hit 90. We're doing it again. 92 degrees later on this afternoon. Bright sunshine, near record highs. The record high yesterday was 92. We hit 91. We missed it by a degree. The record for today is 94 degrees. We're not going to be getting quite there, but we'll be very similar to yesterday. And we'll have sun all the way through sunset, so maybe you want to get out to the sounds. They're back home today. Tail wagging Tuesday. Hot though. Stay hydrated, especially making sure the dogs have the water if you're going to be out there. Taking a look, 87 degrees at 6 p.m. First pitch will be at 6:35. 8 p.m. 8 o'clock still, or I should say at 8 o'clock, 80 degrees still. 72 at 10, so it's going to be warm across the board every hour of daylight for us. What does the weekend look like? Not a complete mess, but not perfect by any means. Scattered showers and storms out there Saturday and Sunday. We're staying warm both days, middle 80s, humid as well. I'm more concerned about high rainfall totals than I am any severe weather. We could put a few inches of rain down between tomorrow and Memorial Day itself, which we'll keep our eyes on. We'll get some new updates throughout the morning about the upcoming weekend and tomorrow when storms return for the first time this week.
Still clear traffic at 458. Let's take a quick look here at what we're dealing with at I-24. This is at Hickory Hollow Parkway. They're coming in from Antioch. We're doing okay on that particular drive so far. No big slowdowns. Let's take a look at your drive times from Kingston Springs. We're looking good. So is Murfreesboro. So is Franklin. It's early, but we got you covered here with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9. Well, Sony is now showing off its brand new surgical robot tool. It was unveiled at the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering International Conference. This happened in Japan. You can see the robot right there. It is threading a corn kernel. It's working to possibly replace the hands and fingers of surgeons. The instrument operates very smoothly in microsurgeries. The delicate instrument can work in conjunction with a microscope to repair small tissue as well as veins and even nerves. Look at that. Wow, 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 that's a kernel of corn. Well, a group of people who gathered in a Texas city tried, but they were not able to break a world record on Saturday. What were they trying to do? Well, they were trying to break the record for the largest group of people with the same name in the same place. It would be the record setters were all with the name Kyle. There's a lot of Kyles there. And they gathered in the city of where else? Kyle, Texas, at the Kyle Fair. Participants had to give proof that their name was Kyle, and Kyle had to be the person's first name. Now, the official count was 750. That's not even close to the world record, where they had nearly 2,300 people named Ivan who gathered at a European town back in 2017. So try harder, Kyle. You didn't quite make it.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, police say this woman attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. The serious charges she is now facing. And a new report showing a slight drop in the number of people who are unhoused in Nashville. The mayor says affordable housing, though, remains top of mind. Greg.
Forecast for us here going for back-to-back, a repeat performance possible. That means it would be our second 90-degree day of the week, but I'm already looking forward to tracking storms later this week.
All right, 90 degrees. Thank you so much for joining us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover. Jennifer Waddell has this Tuesday morning off. Let's get started by sharing the top 3 headlines that you're going to want to know before heading out the door. Former President Donald Trump returning to the courtroom today as we approach the end of the criminal hush money trial. Former federal prosecutor Robert Costello, though, is expected to go ahead and return to the witness stand today. One of Trump's lawyers says the defense does not plan to call any other witnesses after Costello. The judge in this case said he expects closing arguments to happen next week. The Dolly container ship is now docked over at the Baltimore Marine Terminal. At least 5 tugboats, though, escorted the ship back to the port, and the owners of the Dolly say they're working right now to go ahead and secure shore-level leave for the 21 crew members who are still aboard the ship after all this time. They do have to do this because their visas have now expired. By the way, the ship is going to spend several weeks at the port for much-needed repairs. Well, parts of the Midwest, talking about weather now, are bracing for more severe weather after a very busy weekend. At least 13 tornadoes were reported across Kansas, I should say, Colorado, and Oklahoma. The National Weather Service says severe thunderstorms are now expected to go ahead and impact parts of the Midwest and the Great Lakes starting as early as this afternoon. In Operation Crime and Justice, a Murfreesboro woman is charged with murder and abuse for the death of her 1-month-old baby. Police say they were responding to a call last April when they found Jalini Patton's baby unresponsive. The 25-year-old claimed her son hit his head after falling off a bed, but the medical examiner says the boy died of blunt force trauma. They also say that what happened to the baby was no accident. Patton is being held on a $250,000 bond. We also continue Operation Crime and Justice right now with updates regarding a woman charged with attempted murder after witnesses say she attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. Metro Police say it all started when the driver told Dorica Scavalli to sit down and be quiet. Police say that's when she pulled out a knife. The driver tried to get away but was hurt in the process, unfortunately. The woman was eventually arrested over on Gallatin Pike right at the Briley Parkway overpass. This now leads to our question that we're asking over on our Fox Nashville X account, though, so take a look right here. We always want to hear from you, so we do ask this question. Do you feel safe riding public transportation in Nashville? As of right now, 81.8% of you all say no, you do not feel safe. You still have plenty of time to go ahead and sound off and let us know what you think by heading on over to our Fox Nashville X account. We also have that QR code right there up on the screen. That way you can easily scan the QR code and get on over to our Fox Nashville X account. We're going to check in now, though, with our Code Red meteorologist. Greg, beating records already.
We're getting that close. Yesterday we missed it by 1 degree. So, in that case, what's 92 compared to 91? And today, 92 with the record high of 94 on the date. Nothing happened in downtown, but we're still warm. When you wake up and you're already right around 70 degrees when the sun's coming up, and you already hit 90 the day before, good bet you can expect what we call persistence forecasting, where it's just the same as the day before. Yesterday, we did hit 90 degrees for the first time this year. Today, up near 90 again. Then tomorrow, everything begins to slowly change throughout the week. Temperatures begin to go down and scattered showers and storms move back into the forecast. And we'll start looking at tomorrow hour by hour. I've changed it a little bit since the last time I saw you yesterday. This morning, we're staying dry, slightly muggy. Very sunny to start. Sunglasses again, very much so like yesterday morning. Even more sunshine to start the day. No worries other than sun glare this morning when it comes to the weather impacting traffic. Visibility tracker, there are always a few areas in the low-lying valleys in the upper Cumberland Plateau where there could be a little fog, but that's pretty much it. So where do we go today and how do we get there? 75 degrees at 9 o'clock, noon already back to 86. Highest today will be in the low 90s. We're going to get there right in the middle of the afternoon. I would say between about 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. If we're going to hit 90, that's when it will happen. Coming up in the next check of the forecast, though, we're going to look at future track and take a look at tomorrow. Morning and evening hours come with a chance for a few showers and storms. We'll time those out, and I'll give you my first thoughts to Memorial Day weekend.
Greg, thank you so much. We're going to check in now for your steer clear traffic update and hopefully save you some time if you're heading out the door. How about this? Let's look north of downtown. This is I-65 at the I-24 junction. I see one sleeping truck over there on the right shoulder. You can see the flashing lights there, but other than that, we have no issues at hand. Of course, we'll continue sharing all of your steer clear traffic updates right here on Fox 17 News throughout 9 o'clock. And the high cost of homelessness now, as more and more families move to Nashville, there is a growing concern about homelessness. But an annual volunteer-led counting effort points to permanent housing changes, and we could be heading in the right direction. The Metro Office of Homeless Services new report states around 2,000 people experienced homelessness January 25th and the early morning of January 26th, those 2 days. Well, the count includes people sleeping outside and other places that are not meant to live in. The count also includes those who are in transitional housing, also those emergency shelters that we've talked about in the past. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell says now that we have the numbers, the focus needs to be creating affordable housing. Listen.
I think that that success rate is also a challenge going forward, though, for encampments because we'll open the Strobel house and that will be several dozen homes for people that are experiencing chronic homelessness. But we know that we've got to continue to make progress with that $50 million investment from a couple of years ago to ensure that we are creating more of that type of housing for people experiencing homelessness.
The report that we're talking about is called the PIT report. The data also shows that 67% of the homeless population on the night of that count were men, and nearly 80% reported having some sort of disability. If you want to read more about the PIT report, go to fox17.com. Coming up, the man accused of killing a Tennessee teacher while out on bond is going to be spending decades behind bars for another crime. And happening today, the Kentucky primary elections. We're going to take a closer look at the races. Stay with us. In politics, happening today, the Kentucky primary elections are taking place. Polling places are going to be open from about 6 o'clock this morning until 6 p.m., so not too long from now. 5 districts are holding primary races for U.S. representatives, and Kentucky state and local elections are also on the ballot, including primary contests for state senator and state representatives, so a lot more updates to come. In Operation Crime and Justice now, the man accused of killing a Memphis teacher who was out jogging is now going to spend decades behind bars for a different crime. Well, a judge sentenced Cleotha Abston to 80 years in prison for a 2021 rape. He met the woman online, police say, and then attacked her at gunpoint. Now, back to the other case, because he was out on bond in that case when police say he kidnapped and killed Memphis teacher Eliza Fletcher. Fletcher was out for a jog early in the morning when police say Abston plucked her off the street back in 2022. Victims' advocates argue a backlog in rape kit testing kept him on the streets, leading ultimately to Fletcher's death. New this morning, a federal institution chairman is now stepping down after reports of a toxic workplace culture. The White House letting us know that Martin Greenbrier, who is chairman of the FDIC, is going to resign as soon as a replacement is chosen. The move comes after calls from the top Democrat on the Senate Banking Committee to go ahead and remove him from that position. A report just last week by an independent law firm found that more than 500 complaints of stalking, harassment, and homophobia had taken place at the FDIC. Greenbrier, by the way, has held various leadership positions within the FDIC for nearly 20 years.
Coming up in your COVID forecast, we're focusing on the heat for now, but storms carry us into the upcoming weekend. We'll look at any possibilities for severe weather and how much additional rain we could have in the next week.
And of course, we're keeping a very close eye on all of your steer clear traffic updates to save you some time before heading out the door this Tuesday morning. Right now, this area north of downtown looking good. And a teen's father now facing charges after she died riding on an ATV on her birthday. We're going to explain this story.
What does 50 years look like?
5:14 is the time, and right now, Fox 17 News, we are on the scene of breaking news this morning from Antioch, where we are learning much more about a shooting and the injuries. Let's get on over to Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar. She just got there. And Karen, what are you seeing behind you? What are police telling you?
Well, I just spoke to an officer here on scene who tells me the call came in around 3:30 here on Mountain High Drive in this apartment complex for a shooting where he says that one man was shot in that parking lot past this crime tape. Now, they are still investigating the circumstances around what happened. It's still early. The sergeant tells me they haven't been able to talk to any witnesses, but that is what they are doing at this moment. They are knocking on door to door to get a little bit more information on how this shooting started. Did it stem from a fight? Like, we don't know at this moment too many details, but what we do know is that that man is a young man. He could be a teenager, the sergeant says, and he was taken to a nearby hospital where he is expected to be okay. The officer on scene here also tells me that it could be one or multiple suspects. They're still investigating. When we have more information, we will bring it to you. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Now to a road rage incident over in Clarksville, where police are giving us more details. Clarksville police say a semi-truck sideswiped another truck, forcing the driver off the interstate and then drove away. Look at this photo right here. multiple photos. Police say it all happened on I-24 right near exit 8 around 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. That's when one tractor trailer sideswiped another tractor trailer. That second semi-truck, though, went off the interstate, across an on-ramp and into the trees. Never a good situation. The woman driving was hurt and pretty shaken up, police say, and now they're searching for the semi-truck that left the scene, which should have damage to the right side of the trailer. So if you have any kind of information, you're asked to go ahead and give police a call. In Operation Crime and Justice, a sad story here. The father of a teenager killed in an ATV crash last Monday in Nashville is now facing multiple charges, including criminally negligent homicide involving a minor. So we're getting more details about this. Police say 14-year-old Melanie Mosqueda died after the ATV she was riding hit the driver's side of a Jeep over on Darbytown Drive. They say Victor Mosqueda let Melanie and another teenager ride the ATV without any kind of supervision. Melanie died at the hospital the day after the crash. Victor Mosqueda was taken into custody Monday and was released on bond. We're also getting more updates regarding a Middle Tennessee educator. The body of a Columbia State professor killed in an accident during a trip to Brazil has now been recovered. The university says associate art professor Clifford Gordon was swept away by a big wave on an oceanside road. 3 students who were with him got caught up in the wave, but they're okay. Gordon had been working at Columbia State since back in 2008. Well, happening now, the possibility of a new fire station in downtown Nashville is on the table. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey right here giving us a live look on an always busy Lower Broadway. And this is the area where that news station would be built. Metro Council is going to be taking up a discussion regarding the application tonight. They say they're aiming to replace the parking lot over on 2nd Avenue and Broadway with this new construction, and it would take time. That new building, though, would include a new downtown fire and emergency medical services center. A resolution to support the plan is on the agenda. That's happening tonight at the Metro Council meeting, so we'll certainly have more updates for you on Wednesday morning. Well, wicked weather now, an eerie sight over in Great Bend, Kansas. Look at this. This was Sunday as a huge dust storm rolled in, seemingly just swallowing up a neighborhood. The video was taken by a homeowner in this area watching all of this happen. Well, listen, the Weather Services Center says 13 tornadoes were reported throughout Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado. That all happened on Sunday alone. So I do want to ask our Code Red meteorologist, Greg, when you see that video, all that dust in the air, what comes to mind?
Visibility, anyone who has respiratory issues.
Yeah.
I mean, animals, the whole 9 yards, and they're not, I mean, they get them occasionally there, but typically you think about desert Southwest, where they're very frequent. I mean, you get dust storms like that, they roll and you can see them coming, but then you add on the severe weather impacts.
And it just
with the dust storm. Now we're talking
piling on top.
Now we're talking bringing all that out of the air, mud. Just not a great weekend for them by any means. But look at us. Look at that little glow coming up over Lower Broadway. Nice looking start. We're already in the upper 60s. We have not dropped out of the upper 60s all night into this morning. That means we're going to aim for the 90s again this afternoon. Low 90s, really good bet. We'll talk humidity and pollen and how that factors in. Stickiness, you're going to notice a little bit of it, but the actual muggy meter going to rise quite a bit going into tomorrow and then also on Thursday. We'll bring in a weather maker that'll bring in some showers and storms, and then the non-rainy hours, the humidity will really spike for us here. Taking a look at pollen counts, those will go down as the humidity goes up. By Saturday into Sunday, not humid at all, even though we're going to be warm in the middle 80s still because of how much rain we will have put down throughout that time frame. I would watch out this weekend if you're going to be outside for Memorial Day. Mosquitoes will start to be a thing here with us getting warmer like this and also seeing quite a bit of rain that comes down. Speaking of rain, none of that today for us, but tomorrow, definitely a chance here starting off 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Scattered showers and weak storms track through. They will die down throughout the morning. Late morning into early afternoon, we get a break. And then we'll bring in more thunderstorm activity. This is 7 p.m. tomorrow into the overnight. West of I-65, we have to keep watching carefully for any possibility of strong to severe weather. Right now, it's not a guarantee, but that's the one thing that we're really hyper-focused on after today is that storm threat overnight tomorrow night.
Steer clear clear traffic takes us out to I-40 at 2nd Avenue. This is in the heart of downtown Nashville there on the South Loop. Things are okay this morning. No major tie-ups as you get out and about. Certainly great news for those of you there in this particular area. When will things change? Well, that will happen a little bit later in the day once more and more traffic starts to get out there. Watch out for the potholes right back here. Things like that can slow you up. But right now, no major tie-ups anywhere out there on the road so far.
Well, it feels like we're always talking about artificial intelligence, and now OpenAI's CEO and president speaking on their dedication to safety after high-level staff quit just last week. The departing executives raised concerns about OpenAI rushing its products to market to be competitors. The OpenAI CEO says the company, though, is going to now delay the release date for AI models until they reach, quote, certain safety bars. This comes after a company executive and one of its co-founders, well, they both left the company just last week. The two led the part of the company that focused on preventing long-term disaster caused by AI. The executive posted a thread criticizing his former employer, saying that, quote, OpenAI is shouldering an enormous responsibility on behalf of all humanity. But over the past year, safety culture and processes have taken a back seat to shiny products. Williamson County School Board members are not happy about the state new laws on banning books in school libraries. We're going to tell you why some are concerned that the new rules will land the school system in court. Justin McFarland has the story.
Applications.
5:24 is the time. New this morning, the Williamson County School Board members are speaking out about a brand new state law that would change the way that books are reviewed for removal in school libraries. Now, the new law requires the school board to read and review books 60 days after a complaint is filed against that book. It also broadens the language about the kind of books that can be removed from the library. And there's some concern that long staples, like, for instance, Roots, written by Alex Haley, could be up for removal.
This also became an official state book of Tennessee. Our legislature passed that bill. In fact, it was Gino Bolso, who was the co-sponsor of the bill, and I think he was right for doing it, who named this an official state book of Tennessee. The Secretary of State of Tennessee is mandated to have this book listed in the state blue book. How can we pull this out of the library? I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. If we take it out, we're going to get sued and we're going to lose. And if we don't take it out, we're going to get sued. This is an impossible task that we have been placed upon us. It's a task that we should not have.
So coming up a little bit later, we're going to hear from some other school board members as well, very passionate about this. According to School Board Representative Welch, though, one group has already submitted 118 books that they want to be reviewed for possible removal.
5:25, Memorial Day weekend, so close. We're almost there. We know a lot of things happen Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Many plans. And looking ahead, we're not looking picture perfect. So we're going to give you that really early heads up and first thoughts of what likely plays out for us over those 3 days. Temperatures, those are pretty locked in. Even last week, it looked like we'd be in the middle 80s for this upcoming weekend. So that's there. But storm chances have been bouncing around a little bit throughout Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Pop-up storms are likely. Our severe weather threat looking fairly low for all 3 days. That's the second bullet point right here, but multiple rounds of storms will move in that could end up leading to some standing water, some ponding, some puddling, even just wet yards, wet backyards, the whole 9 yards. With that, could also bring in a mosquito threat that goes up a little bit because we're starting to see these warm days and warm nights. So keep that in mind. How do you keep track of the forecast? Very easily. Download the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. If you haven't scanned the QR code before, go for it, or you just go to the App Store and type in Code Red.
Steer clear traffic at 5:27. Let's take a quick look here at I-40 at White Bridge Road coming in from West Nashville. We do have a couple of trucks over there taking a bit of a break there on the shoulder of the road this morning. You can see that for yourself, but the shoulder is big and wide, so trucks do this all the time. You're in good shape as you're getting out and about there this morning. Overall drive times also looking good. This is 24 at Old Hickory Boulevard as you make that drive in, coming in from the Antioch area of town, and we have moths here in the studio as well, so that's fun. We'll continue to follow things out there on the roads and let you know whatever else we find with Steer Clear traffic live through 9.
Police say a shooting in Antioch sends one man to the hospital. In a few minutes, I'll tell you what I've learned so far.
Also coming up, a major TBI investigation arresting several men who are charged with taking advantage of children. We'll be right back.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, a TBI investigation arresting men across the state accused of harming minors. And housing prices in Nashville are pushing locals out of the market and out of the city. More on the growing crisis.
And we hit 91 degrees yesterday. We are not done yet. Today could be even hotter. The bigger story, though, becomes thunderstorms into your holiday weekend.
Oof, even hotter. Okay, thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover. Jennifer Waddell has the morning off. We're going to get started right now with the Fox 17 News breaking update from Antioch this morning. That's where reports of a shooting happening at an apartment complex over on Mountain High Drive are coming into our newsroom. We're mapping it out for you right here on your screen. That's also where we find Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar working right now to get some answers.
Good morning, Erica. Well, as you can see behind me, there is still a police car. It's one of many that are still here on scene on Mountain High Drive in this apartment complex. They've been here for a couple hours investigating what happened in that shooting. One officer here tells me that a young man, possibly a teenager, was shot in this parking lot behind me. Now, they have removed the crime tape, so they are clearing out the scene. But at this time, we do know that they are knocking on doors. They are trying to find out more information on what could have happened. And a little bit more about that man. We're working to get more information on who he was, name, identity. We don't know if his family has been notified yet. Another thing that I did do was I talked to some neighbors right here on my left who tell me that they woke up to the sounds of gunshots. The call coming in around 3:30 this morning, according to officials. They've been out here all day just observing what's happening. They have a lot of questions along with us as to what could have sparked this shooting. Now, as for the young man or teenager, the officer here tells me that he was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to be okay. He also tells me that he doesn't know if it's one or multiple suspects. We're working to find out more details. When we have more information, we'll bring that to you. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Hey, Greg, I was just reading your email and you said with highs in the low 90s.
Yep.
Low 90s.
Yeah, that means I bet many of us, especially Nashville itself, 92 is a really good place we may be aiming for. I would say the Cumberland Plateau, upper 80s, so still warm. Probably doesn't hit 90 in the plateau for another couple of weeks just due to the elevation, but yeah, low 90s for a good portion of Middle Tennessee. Taking a look, that would be a repeat performance of yesterday when we hit 91. We missed the record by 1 degree yesterday. We'll miss a record today if we hit 92 by 2 degrees. That gives you an idea of how early in the year we're seeing these couple 90 degrees back to back. Stormy end of the week. We'll see a few showers and storms move in tomorrow. The one time frame that I'm concerned about any possible stronger storms would be tomorrow, sunset through early on Thursday morning. And we'll look through that and work through it on Future Track. Right now, I'm not 100% convinced about it. That's just the time frame that my eyes are kind of really honed in on when it comes to storms. We're all clear for right now, though. Whatever you did to try to stay cool yesterday, were you too hot? Do more. If you were comfortable, do the same thing, and you'll be okay for this day because we get warm real quick. Take a look at this. By 9 a.m., you're already in the middle 70s. By the time we get to lunchtime, mid to upper 80s, and then we will climb to right near 90 between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. That's our chance to get right at or around that mark. So have you been watering your plants and your flowers outside the last couple of days? No? I would do it here in the coming hours, 7 or 8 o'clock today or after 6 p.m. before we hit sunset because we've not had any rain in a little while and just a couple of really dry, hot days like this could do a little bit of damage. Coming up, we'll look at tomorrow's storm threat. We'll also give you your 7-day forecast that takes us into the upcoming Memorial Day weekend.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 at Haywood Lane. As you make that drive in through the Antioch area, you can see that traffic moving along really nicely. No big problems in either direction out here. So far, so good. As you make that drive in from anywhere, Antioch, Smyrna, Laverne, Murfreesboro, we're all looking nice and we're all in the green. That includes coming out from Clarksville, 57 minutes down from Montgomery County, 50 minutes in from Murfreesboro, 26 minutes in from Hendersonville. We'll continue to follow things out there for you.
Justin, thank you. In Operation Crime and Justice, the TBI says they have arrested 12 men who they say sexually exploited children across our state line. Very disturbing here, and the TBI sharing these photos of the 12 men that they're talking about. The group includes 3 men from McMinnville, 3 from Paris, and 1 each from Columbia and also Murfreesboro. Agents say some of the men posed as teenagers and got minors to send them inappropriate photos and then threatened to expose the children if they did not send gift cards or more photos.
We must watch where our children go online. We must know who they're talking to. And we must have the hard conversations to guide our children.
Well, the TBI also identified 18 victims between 11 and 17. The TBI says that the kids were used to take material between ages 6 and 12. If you'd like to read much more about this story, go ahead and head on over to fox17.com. In our economy, though, high home prices are pushing Nashville folks out of the state entirely. And a local housing shortage is a big reason to blame for the skyrocketing prices. Well, thanks to rapid growth, a new report shows Nashville needs to gain 5,000 homes per year just to keep up. Local realtor and former Fox 17 News team member Craig Edwards says this comes as the construction rate is down more than 30%.
We don't have the houses, the number of houses that we need, the number of homes out there. So that creates a tremendous demand on the ones that we do have. And that in turn helps raise those prices.
It's a domino effect for people struggling to buy a home in this tough market. Edwards suggests meeting with your lender to get your finances all ready to go. He also says there are programs available to help with the money. All right, this story has me all shaken up. Snakes in electric substations. Okay, not my fan here. The number of unexpected outages that surprise snakes have caused right here in the mid-state. And later this hour, as unlicensed taxis are trickling in Nashville, locals, real taxi companies are now pushing for tighter regulations. It is just about 5:40 this Tuesday morning, and right now we are showing you a beautiful live look over in East Nashville. We have the music playing. There's Nissan Stadium off in the distance and a stellar sunrise. Now listen, we could be reaching 90-degree temperatures again. But Greg says, don't worry, it's the low 90s. Low 90s, so definitely a hot day on tap. We're going to talk about the showers, though, and how you could need your umbrella on Wednesday morning. Also, if you're just now waking up with us and snakes give you the heebie-jeebies, then I'm sorry. But Middle Tennessee Electric is reporting 4 unusual outages over the last 10 days because of what they call snake incursions. That's right. The agency says the snakes are climbing up the power poles and causing outages. It's similar to when you trip a breaker at your home. MTE says it's tried multiple snake repellents, but it's not working. So Greg, if you have any advice for MTE, go ahead and send it their way.
That is not my territory.
It's not your forte? Okay.
No, that is not my joke. Also, you could never joke a snake, Erica, because you can't pull their legs.
Thank you, Greg.
I know. There you go. There's your dad joke for the day, even though I'm not a dad. Taking a look, 541 right now. Nothing happening downtown. What to wear? Whatever made you comfortable yesterday and kept you breezy and cool as you could be. Do the same thing today. We're in the same area, waking up here in the 60s to right near 70, near 90 later on this afternoon. So here we are, May 21st, up, out the door to jam-packed sunshine. You just saw our sunrise there. It officially started 5 minutes ago, and now we will see our temperatures begin to slowly climb in the hours to come. We'll be in the 70s by the time we get to 8 o'clock, and the 80s before we get to lunchtime. That's the kind of day we're working with. So what is lunchtime looking like? It could be a good patio day if you don't mind the heat and sunshine. Not terribly humid today, which is at least one little thing we have going for us, but 86 degrees at noon, 87 at 1. If we hit 90 degrees today, it'll be back to back, and we only missed the record yesterday by 1 degree. We clocked in at 91.
Clear, clear traffic. Let's get you to I-65 at Armory Drive there on the south side. Traffic moving along really nicely there as you make the drive in from the south side from Brentwood. No big problems in either direction here. Same can be said for other sides of town. 24 Haywood Lane also looking good. We're going to keep you up to date. So far, though, we're accident free out there on the roads.
Coming up, students in Robertson County will no longer have free lunch provided. Why the district says this had to come to an end. And one tech company says artificial intelligence will start predicting what you do on your laptop. We'll explain this story in a couple of minutes.
Get up to 25%.
Right now on Fox 17 News, we have continuing coverage on unlicensed taxis creating problems in Music City. A local cab company is now demanding more regulation to protect drivers, locals, and also tourists. Shelly Williams is who we spoke with. She's the operations manager at Nash Vegas Cab Corporation. And Williams says they're taking a big financial hit with the increase in unlicensed taxis that we've covered here on Fox 17 News just last week. Well, that's because their company pays thousands of dollars in permit fees and insurance that fraudulent companies do not have to pay for. Williams says that fake taxis charge outrageous prices instead of using a meter, which is required in Metro Nashville. Well, she says if a taxi driver leaves a company, there are rules.
And within 72 hours, they have to remove their logos, they have to remove their equipment professionally, and they have to get their cab back to the original color that it was.
Well, Fox 17 News, we're working to get answers for y'all, and we reached out to the Transportation Licensing Commission for an interview, trying to get those answers. They said they were not available. That was yesterday, but we'll continue updating this story as well. We also know that TLC does not say, or does say, they are aware of reports of people posing as taxis, and they say they are working with enforcement staff to go ahead and address this very issue. Happening right now, the possibility of a new fire station in downtown Nashville is on the table. Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey right now is on Lower Broadway. It's very sunny out there. This is where the new station would be built. Metro Council is going to discuss an application tonight, aiming to replace this parking lot over on 2nd Avenue and Broadway with a brand spanking new construction. That new building would include a new downtown fire and emergency medical services center. A resolution to support this particular plan is on the agenda at tonight's Metro Council meeting, and so we'll bring you some more updates on Wednesday morning. Free lunches are set to end for some Robertson County school students. So we're updating you on what you need to know regarding this story. This is all according to Smoky Barn News. They say the district will reinstitute a meal pricing structure for the upcoming school year instead. The district had provided meals at no cost for the past 2 years, but says maintaining that program is just no longer sustainable. Lunches will now cost $2.25 for elementary schools, and then $2.50 for middle schools, and then $2.75 for high schools. By the way, though, free breakfasts will still be provided for all of the students. In science news, Microsoft says your laptop will soon know so much about you that it's going to be able to figure out what you want to do before you even do it. Okay. The company says new artificial intelligence chatbots are going to remember everything you do on your computer, which will help users figure out what they want to do next. Some say this does raise major concerns about privacy and security online and whether the AI can be deactivated. The software company unveiled the updated version of its AI co-pilot as competition revs up with other big tech companies. And the news comes 1 week after AI announced their big program with Google. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist for another hot forecast. Some folks say, bring on the heat. Other folks like me say, I'm going to stay inside.
It's a very polarizing time of the year where people have been itching for it to get warm and others are like, can we just keep spring for a few more weeks?
I do have to admit, and you're going to get mad at me when I say this, that I definitely was sitting outside yesterday and I thought, okay, I'm ready for fall.
I watch people go to a pool, sit down for a half hour with the water right there.
And then get out.
And just go right inside. Yeah. It is that time of the year where we're not used to getting that warm. Take a look here. I had to show this again. Almost looks fake, the sun coming up over Lower Broadway.
Beautiful.
What a beautiful start to the day. We're in the 60s right now. Really, the next 4 or 5 hours are going to be great. Once we get toward lunchtime, that's when the discomfort settles in, and that'll go with us all the way toward dinner time. So if you don't like 90, get everything done this morning or wait until you get closer to sunset, and it'll be at least a little more tolerable, if not comfortable. Humidity is not up for us today. It's going to continue to climb throughout the week. So we'll have two things happening at once. Humidity will be going up, and pollen counts will be going down at the same time. So you get a little bit of good with a little bit of the not so great. Here we are, pollen counts for allergy sufferers. Look at Saturday, putting it all the way in the low category. We're going to put down so much rain and so many rounds of scattered showers and storms between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, between that entire time frame, that we could end up seeing those pollen counts stay low going into Memorial Day as well. That was today. Nothing happens for us. No rain. Don't plan for it. However, in the next check of your forecaster before we even get to 6 o'clock, I'm going to take you from right here, 5 a.m. tomorrow, all the way through your Wednesday and your Memorial Day weekend. Starting tomorrow morning, rain returns. It will be on and off the radar all the way through the holiday.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get you to Vietnam Veterans Boulevard here at Gallatin Pike. This is in the Sumner County area. Traffic moving along just fine coming down from Hendersonville. No big problems in either direction here. We've been drama-free out there on the roads for most of the morning here. No big problems in anywhere just about. This is I-40 at Fessler's just east of downtown. Also looking smooth here. Drive times are looking great. You can pull out the sunglasses because sun glare is going to be your biggest issue, at least for now.
And Fox 17 News investigates a lawsuit against a one-of-a-kind cattle operation near the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Tennessee's Attorney General sued Browning Cattle Company. The suit claims manure from the Clay County operation is causing high levels of E. coli in nearby creeks.
Our farm lifestyle and our way of life is under siege here with this cattle operation and has been for 2 years.
Browning has done everything that any government entity has asked for.
Well, the company pressed pause on all operations, but ultimately wants to bring in 9,000 head of cattle. Fox 17 News' investigative reporter Kelly Avellino breaking down the cattle battle tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. Just ahead, though, this Tuesday morning, President Biden marking Jewish American Heritage Month amid conflict around the world. And a raccoon is going to be taking a small place in sports history. Why it now gets to be a trading card. Seriously, stay with us. Welcome back. 5:54 is the time, and right now we're showing you a live look of the Nashville skyline. Now keep in mind, our Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus says you can enjoy one more day that is dry from start to finish. But a stormy pattern from Wednesday night is heading into our forecast, and we're also keeping a very close eye on Memorial Day weekend. We'll have your full forecast in just a couple of minutes. Making headlines, though, President Biden marking Jewish American Heritage Month with a ceremony over at the White House. And this video that we're going to show you is from yesterday. This year's observance came at an especially difficult time. The International Criminal Court announced Monday that they're seeking the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, along with other Israeli leaders, for war crimes. The ICC took the action over Israel's attacks in Gaza. President Biden, though, blasting the court's actions.
Let me be clear. We reject the ICC's application for arrest warrants against Israeli leaders. Whatever these warrants may imply, there is no equivalence between Israel and Hamas. And it's clear Israel wants to do all it can to ensure civilian protection.
Israeli leaders have said they have a right to defend itself after Hamas staged a surprise attack last October. Back here, though, in Middle Tennessee, happening tonight, Metro Council is meeting to vote on a resolution to make May Jewish American Heritage Month. That meeting is going to be happening in Nashville. Trending now, a raccoon that made its way into the soccer pitch during a Major League Soccer game last week in Philadelphia is now a celebrity. Take a look at this. The raccoon now has its very own trading card. The rogue raccoon ran onto the field during Philadelphia's match against New York City FC. This was last Wednesday. The animal evaded capture for more than 2 minutes, and then managed to run the length of the pitch before the grounds crew ultimately captured him with a trash can. You cannot make this up. According to the league, he set a record for the most seconds spit on the field by a raccoon in MLS history. Now, how is that? Okay, you know what, Greg? You're always sharing your curious question of the day, but here you go. A unique story.
Very unique story that I don't have answers to, that's for sure. But I mean, there also is a minor league baseball team where all the players are trash pandas and have their own baseball cards.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. But this is a different sport, though. So he's the unique one here. This time around this morning, let's take a look where I told you we'd leave off. We have Future Track here taking us through tomorrow. I'm starting you off tomorrow at 5 a.m. Between now and then, nothing on radar. This is how our day begins. We're going to start it and end it, bookend it with some rain. This takes you 5 o'clock through 8 o'clock in the morning. Scattered showers track through, a few of them weakening as they make their way closer to Nashville. We get a break. Late morning, here's noon going into early afternoon, and then the evening hours. This is our best chance for a few thunderstorms tomorrow, and also our best chance in the next 48 to 72 hours for any stronger storms carrying you through the overnight. Weakening as they do track in, but to the point to where, especially west of I-65, we could have a few strong to severe thunderstorms, and watch out for some wind as we're heading to bed tomorrow night into Thursday, and then we'll stay unsettled on and off for the rest of the week into the weekend. Middle 80s Saturday and Sunday, 81 on Memorial Day. Pop-up storms likely all 3 days. Have rain gear and have an app, the Code Red Weather app, to track that rain if you have any outdoor plans.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get to I-24 at Shelby Avenue. This is in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. Traffic there moving along pretty well, despite the fact that once we cross that 6 o'clock hour mark here, traffic is going to increase in a big way. Also, watch out for the big trucks carrying a lot of equipment here because they're building a brand new $2.2 billion stadium right on the other side of this hotel, right there off of I-24. So heads up in that area. We're going to give you the latest drive times coming up in a few.
In consumer news right now, DoorDash is expanding its partnership with Ulta Beauty. Now, if you're not familiar with DoorDash, because not everyone is, they deliver right to your door from different businesses or restaurants. Well, now they're going to offer on-demand delivery of cosmetics, fragrances, and skincare products across all 50 states. The service, though, was previously only available in selected areas. This particular announcement is their latest step in DoorDash's push into new retail opportunities. That is according to leaders with the company. We have a recall alert for dog owners now. Pedigree says they're pulling certain bags of their dog food from Walmart shelves over potential hazardous materials. So do listen up, pet owners. The pet food brand is recalling 44 pounds of their Pedigree Adult Complete Nutrition grilled steak and vegetable flavor. I'm showing you a photo right here for more information. It's their dry dog food, and it's because of the potential of loose pieces of metal. Very serious. The recalled product was sold in about 176 Walmart stores across the South and Midwest. It also involves around 315 bags of kibble and has a best buy date of March 4th of 2025. For more updates about this recall, visit fox17.com. Stay with us, though. Our 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Just ahead on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, police say this woman attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. The serious charges she is now facing.
Police say a shooting in Antioch early this morning sends one man to the hospital. Coming up, I'll have the details, and you'll hear from a neighbor who says that the gunshots woke her up.
And there's a new report showing a slight drop in the number of people who are unhoused in Nashville. The mayor says affordable housing, though, still remains top of mind. We're going to take a closer look at that report. We do want to start, though, by saying thank you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover. Jennifer Waddell has the morning off. We want to start right now with our breaking news update out of Antioch. That is where we are following a shooting. We understand one person was hurt. We're going to get right on over to Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar. She's been there for about an hour or so getting some more updates. So, Karen, what can you share with us right now?
Good morning, Erica. Police tell me that one man, he's young, he says possibly a teenager, was shot right here in this parking lot of this apartment complex on Mountain High Drive. An officer here on scene tells me that the bullets pierced some cars too. He tells me the call came in around 3:30 a.m. and they've been out here for hours knocking on doors and talking to neighbors to get more information, investigating what happened. I spoke to one neighbor, Kelly Green, who says the sound of gunshots woke her up.
I just thought it was like a truck or something of that nature. Nothing in my mind, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning, prepared me that it was gunshots until I saw my neighbor directly next door to me, and she said she was going to her mom's house. That's how terrified she was.
Police tell me that the young man was taken to a nearby hospital from that shooting and is expected to be okay. The suspect or suspects are not in custody. Reporting live in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Right now in Operation Crime and Justice, we want to let you know about a Murfreesboro woman who is charged with murder and abuse in the death of her 1-month-old baby. Very disturbing here. Police were responding to a call last April when they say they found Jelani Patton's baby unresponsive. Well, the 25-year-old told officers her son hit his head after falling off a bed. But the medical examiner says the boy died of blunt force trauma, and what happened to him, they say, was no accident. Patton is being held on a $250,000 bond. Well, a woman is charged with attempted murder after witnesses say she attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. Metro Police say it all started when the driver told Derek Cavalli to sit down and be quiet. Police say that the person behind us pulled out the knife. The driver tried to get away and was ultimately hurt in the process, though. Cavalli was eventually arrested, police say, on Gallatin Pike right at the Bradley Parkway overpass. And we want to hear from you, so we're asking this question over on our Fox Nashville X account. Do you feel safe on public transit? As of right now, 84.2% of you say no, you do not feel safe. There is still time for you to cast your vote. Let us know what you think by heading on over to our Fox Nashville X account. You can see right there we also have the QR code, making it easy for you to scan the code and then sound off and let us know what you think. Let's talk about politics happening today, the Kentucky primary elections. Polling places are going to be open right now, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Presidential primaries for both the Democratic and Republican parties all taking place. 5 districts, though, take a look here on your screen, are holding primary races for U.S. representatives. Kentucky state and local elections are also on the ballot, including primary contests for state senator and state representatives. We don't want to waste any time when it comes to your forecast. Folks are trying to plan ahead for a hot Tuesday.
Oh yeah, let's just get moving, talk about yesterday and how it completely translates into today. We hit 91. That was our first 90-degree day or above for the entire year. Let's get ready to go. Last year, well, it happened on May 15th, so a little bit later this year. The average is May 27th, and we're going to aim for it again today. Why it sets up today very similar? Well, we started off the day with temperatures that were already cooler than we are right now, and we're going to have more sunshine, and we still hit 91 degrees. So it was a degree shy from hitting the record yesterday. So we're starting off warmer. We're going to get more sun. That means we're going to be about in the same spot, if not even a degree warmer this afternoon. We'll call it maybe a repeat performance. Stormy to end the week. No showers or storms today at any point from sunrise to sunset. Tomorrow morning, you're waking up with a few showers that could move in that we'll look at on Future Track. And I've got Memorial Day thoughts that are not great, but we have to plan for what's just going to happen. And that is a few more pop-up showers and thunderstorms. Back to here and now. No weather impact to traffic this morning, except for just the bright sunshine we got out there. We're warm. Little mugginess, but really not all that bad for this time of the year. We're staying dry all morning long, so I'm going to say weather should give you no worries heading out. We'll look at your 7-day forecast and plan those first incoming showers and storms for tomorrow in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic gets us to I-24 at Waldron Road. This is out in Rutherford County. Traffic there moving along. However, things are starting to increase there at 6:05 in the morning, and they will do that here for the next couple of hours as this traffic will only get slower here over the next few minutes. Overall drive times, we're in the green right now, but that is going to change. 26 minutes in from Mount Juliet, just under an hour in from Murfreesboro, 29 minutes in from Hendersonville. Every single one of these numbers will be going up over the course of the next hour.
Justin, thank you. And the high cost of homelessness now. More and more families are moving to Nashville, which means there is a growing concern about homelessness. And we talk about this so much here, but there is an annual volunteer-led counting effort that points to permanent housing changes. And it might be heading in the right direction. The Metro Office of Homeless Services new report states that around 2,000 people experienced homelessness January 25th and the early morning of January 26th. Those 2 dates in January. The count includes people sleeping outside in shelters and other places not meant to be lived in. Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell says now that we have those numbers, the focus needs to be on creating affordable housing.
I think that that success rate is also a challenge going forward, though, for encampments because, we'll open the Strobel house and that will be several dozen homes for people that are experiencing chronic homelessness. But we know that we've got to continue to make progress with that $50 million investment from a couple of years ago to ensure that we are creating more of that type of housing for people experiencing homelessness.
Now, the report that we're talking about is called the Pitt Report. The data also shows that 67% of the homeless population on the night of this count were men, and nearly 80% reported having some sort of disability. If you want to read much more from the Pitt Report, go to fox17.com and search the high cost of homelessness. Coming up on Fox 17 News, Williamson County School Board members say they're not happy about new state laws on banning books in school libraries. We're going to tell you why some are concerned that the new rules will land the school system in some hot water. Stay with us.
Fox 17 News at 9.
Right now, Fox 17 News, we are following breaking news. We understand that Singapore Airlines says one person was killed and dozens others were hurt when a Singapore Airlines flight from London to Singapore hit severe turbulence. All of this happening this morning. The BBC reporting that the plane was diverted ultimately to Bangkok. They say it was carrying 211 passengers and 18 crew members at the time.
6:10 is the time, and new this morning, the Williamson County School Board is speaking out about a brand new law that changes the way books are reviewed for removal in school libraries. Now, the new law would require the school board to read and review and vote on books 60 days after they are filed for a complaint. Some school board members are very afraid that too many requests will come through at the same time and really make the workload too heavy on any school board.
How is a board going to be able to meet this standard within 60 days? We can't implement this policy without sacrificing other things.
I want to point out we've had a group that's already submitted a list to us of 118 books that they disagree with in the library. That exists. So I don't know if you can get through, and these are high school level novels. If you can get through 118 books in 60 days and read it critically and understand to a point where you can make an evaluation, you're certainly a quicker reader than I am.
Well, the state has also broadened rules for the kind of books that can be removed as well, and that is causing some concerns. We're going to hear more about that coming up in our 7 and 8 o'clock hours. Well, the United States Department of Justice is now rejecting the ICC prosecutors, that's the International Court's announcement to seek an arrest warrant for Israeli and Hamas leaders. We just spoke about this just a few moments ago. This is after France and Belgium released statements supporting the court's request. Their spokesperson, Matt Miller, says the court has no jurisdiction for either side. He questioned the legitimacy of the investigation.
But certainly it calls into question the investigation that he has conducted and the action he has taken when you see him short circuit a process that was underway to gather facts, which is what you expect any prosecutor, any investigator to do when they're considering pursuing such a case.
Well, when it comes to Hamas leaders targeted by these arrest warrants, Miller again says that the International Court has no jurisdiction. 2 of them are believed to be hiding in Gaza. The third is based in Qatar, which is not a member of the ICC.
Coming up in your forecast, we're waking up. The sun is already up, and it's going to warm us up very quickly. Right now, right side of your screen, current temps are in the 60s. How many more days could hit 90 coming your way?
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-40 at Festers Lane, just east of downtown. You can see for yourself traffic moving along really nicely. No big problems. We'll continue to watch the roads. And a teen's father is now facing charges after she died while riding an ATV on her birthday. We'll be right back.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville.
Just about 6:15 in Operation Crime and Justice, the father of a teenager killed in an ATV crash last Monday in Nashville is now facing multiple charges, including criminally negligent homicide involving a minor. Police say 14-year-old Melanie Mosqueda died after the ATV she was riding on hit the driver's side of a Jeep over on Darbytown Drive. They say Victor Mosqueda, this man, let Melanie and another teenager ride the ATV without any kind of supervision. Melanie died at the hospital the day after the crash. Victor Mosqueda was taken into custody yesterday and has since been released on bond. A sad update now, as the body of a Columbia State professor killed over in an accident during a trip to Brazil has now been recovered. The university announcing that associate art professor Clifford Gordon was swept away by a big wave. All of that happening on an oceanside road. 3 students, though, who were caught in that wave are okay. Gordon had been working at Columbia State since back in 2008. Well, happening this morning, the possibility of a new fire station in downtown Nashville is on the table. That is why right now our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is showing us a live look over on a very sunny Lower Broadway. This is where the new station would be built, so go ahead and take a look for yourself. Metro Council is going to discuss an application tonight aiming to replace the parking lot at 2nd Avenue and Broadway with new construction. A lot of construction already in the process, though. The new building would include a new downtown fire and emergency medical services center. A resolution, though, to support the plan is going to be on the agenda at tonight's Metro Council meeting, which is why we tell you about this. And of course, we'll bring all the updates to you tomorrow morning. And you can look for more updates tonight over on fox17.com. Let's talk about a bear over in Gatlinburg showing it knows the rules of the road. You got to see it for yourself, though. The bear taking a pause and looking both ways at a stop sign. All right, this bear seems to be pretty smart. The video taken by a person who was passing by. The young bear is seen seemingly checking for traffic. What's going on here? The driver of the car politely asked the bear if he can go ahead and drive on past him. I don't know, Greg. It's still a little close for comfort. Looks to be a baby bear, which, you know, you do not bother the bears. We have to say that because remember the video of the folks who were taking the baby bears out of the trees?
Of course, yeah.
Don't do that. If you're heading to Gatlinburg, leave the bears alone.
Also, you don't want to get mama bear.
You don't want to bother mama bear.
Baby bear's still learning. So you must have baby bear. Mama gonna come in hot, and she's not gonna be liking that at all.
Well, okay, talking about coming in hot.
Yeah.
How many days are we gonna have to deal with 90-degree temperatures?
Today and then tomorrow will be in the upper 80s, but I don't believe we'll hit 90 tomorrow, but we could hit almost the exact same spot we were at yesterday, again for today. That's why our dog of the day says, I refuse to morning.
Oh, okay. Hey, Frankie.
Frankie's like, nope, nope. You're saying 90 again? No, thank you. No, thank you. Short when it comes to the dog walk here for you. If you can go out this morning, Candace from Spring Hill, thank you for the photo. That is really the definition of a spirit animal. When you're talking about 90-degree heat for the afternoon here, and we're still in May. Dog walking this morning looks great. The afternoon going to be just as hot as yesterday. So that noon to 4 p.m. period, we'll have temperatures that will be in the upper 80s and low 90s. This morning, we're already as warm as 75 at 9 a.m. The earlier we can get out and do it, the more comfortable everyone involved is going to be. Taking a look, you can send us your dog of the day by going to Facebook, my page right there. This is the post. We've been using it here for, gosh, almost over a year and a half now. That's where all the submissions go, and that's how you get your dog right here on Fox 17 News. This morning, taking a look, beautiful start. Just a few very high, fair weather clouds. No rain today at any point throughout the entire day. This will be a day where if you can brave the heat and you like that feeling of the sun getting on you, you will be okay for an outdoor lunch. If not, maybe just look out the window. 83 degrees at 11, 87 by 1 p.m. Nearly unlimited sunshine today. Forecast for us today is going to keep it that way. Tomorrow morning, starting at 5 a.m., I mentioned the chance for a few showers and weak storms that will track in. Then we'll get a break for the rest of the morning. Into the early afternoon, the best chance for some thunderstorms that could even pack a little bit of a punch will be overnight tomorrow night into your Thursday. We get new updates for Future Track 2 more times this morning before 9 a.m. And we'll give you them both if you stick with us right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
Steer clear traffic gets us to I-40 near Fester's Lane. This is over on the east side of town. Traffic there is moving along despite the fact we do have one disabled vehicle here. We had reports of debris in the road out here. We saw TDOT coming along to try and grab whatever debris they can find. Haven't seen the debris, but we're seeing the effects of it. Whatever it is that was out there is perhaps sidelighting several cars. So this is the third car we've seen in this area having some type of problems where they can't go any further. So clearly there may be something out there, so watch out for it there. I-40 at Fessler's. TDOT is in the area looking for whatever it may be. You can always take Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike as the best ways to steer clear.
Thank you so much, Justin. Trending this Tuesday morning is a bizarre story unfolding now over at Elvis's former home in Memphis. Well, a sale of Graceland has been scheduled for May 23rd. That's Thursday. A company called Nosity Investments, they presented court documents claiming that Lisa Marie Presley borrowed nearly $4 million from them and gave them the deed to Graceland as collateral. The company says Lisa Marie died without paying that debt and is now selling the Memphis landmark. But Elvis's granddaughter says not so fast. That is not true. And she is fighting to keep Graceland in the family. She claims the investment company is not even a real company and is now asking a court to stop the sale. A lot more updates to come from Graceland. New this morning as well, a federal institution chairman is stepping down following reports of a toxic workplace culture. We do understand that the White House administration has announced that Martin Greenbrier, chairman of the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC, is soon going to resign as soon as a replacement is chosen. The move follows calls from the top Democrat on the Senate Banking Committee to remove Greenbrier from his current position. A report last week by an independent law firm found that more than 500 complaints of stalking, harassment, and homophobia at the FDIC had come in. Greenbrier, though, by the way, has held various leadership positions within the FDIC for nearly 20 years. Let's talk about golf, though. Pro golfer Scottie Scheffler is going to have his day in court after being arrested last week outside of the PGA Championship. We're going to have the update. And we also want to take a moment and just say thank you for waking up with Fox 17 News every weekday morning. We're your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up until 9. You could even get those weather updates scrolling during commercial breaks.
This Memorial Day week.
Right now, Fox 17 News showing you a live look over of the beautiful Tuesday morning sunrise. This is in Metro Center. And listen, another hot one is on tap for today with highs in the low 90s once again, just like on Monday. But we're also tracking your, well, it looks like to be a soggy Memorial Day forecast. Our code red meteorologist is going to share that full forecast in a couple of minutes. Right now, though, we're talking about golf. We have an update this Tuesday morning as the arraignment for pro golfer Scottie Scheffler, right behind me here, has now been moved to Monday, June 3rd. So it's not going to happen this week as initially thought. Scheffler, though, is set to be arraigned on charges including felony assault on a police officer, criminal mischief, and also reckless driving. Scheffler was trying to enter the Valhalla Golf Club for the second round of the PGA Championship when Louisville police say they were working a traffic fatality when Scheffler, reportedly according to them, tried to drive past. They say when an officer stopped Scheffler, he accelerated forward, dragging an officer to the ground. Scheffler, though, has denied all of the allegations. We also know that it's a tail wagging Tuesday over at the Sound Stadium. They're going to be playing tonight. Very exciting. But what about the forecast? Is the weather going to cooperate for baseball? The good news is we're not seeing any kind of showers in your Tuesday forecast, but it is going to be hot. You're going to have your ball cap. You're going to want some sunblock. Check out the forecast right here on your screen. We're talking about 6 p.m., 87 degrees. And then by the time we reach 10 p.m., 72 degrees. That's your full forecast when it comes to Sounds baseball. We're going to check in now regarding your Steer Clear traffic update with Justin McFarland.
All right, let's see what we got on I-24 at Waldron Road. This is out in Laverne. Good morning out there in Rutherford County. As you make that drive in, we're doing okay. This is typical, unfortunately. It's typical to see traffic crawling along here at around 10 miles per hour, making that drive in from Rutherford County this morning. This is Laverne. You had to get through Smyrna to get here, and then Antioch is up in front of this, and it's all leading to extended drive times. Here we go. It's 73 minutes. It's an hour and 13 minutes in your car going from Murfreesboro into downtown right now. 26 minutes coming in from Mount Juliet, 29 minutes coming in from Mount Juliet, but all these times are going to be going up here as the morning goes on as well. We're going to continue to watch things out there on the roads, but no major accidents. This is all just congestion.
We're also getting more updates regarding a TBI investigation arresting several men charged with taking advantage of children. The disturbing details. And Titans season ticket holders getting a special first look at the new Nissan Stadium experience. What we are now learning about Titans House.
Warm weather out there. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, breaking news as one man was hurt in a shooting over in Antioch. We're going to have the very latest from police and neighbors. And did you enjoy Monday's temperatures? If so, you're going to appreciate today's forecast. We're climbing into the 90s once again while also monitoring an approaching stormy weather pattern.
Steer clear traffic gets us to 65 at Trinity Lane. We've got the latest look at your drive times coming up in a few.
A lot to get to, but we do want to start by saying thank you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover. Jennifer Waddell has the morning off. And right now on Fox 17 News, we do want to bring you up to speed on a breaking news situation from Antioch. That is where one man was hurt in a shooting. It happened on an apartment complex on Mountain High Drive. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is sharing another update.
Police tell me that one man, possibly a teenager, was shot right here behind me in this parking lot of this apartment complex on Mountain High Drive. He tells me that the man was taken to a nearby hospital and is expected to be okay. The bullets of that shooting piercing some of these cars that you see right there on your screen. He tells me that there is no more information that he can release on the man that was shot at this time, but we are waiting to find out more. We also spoke to some neighbors who tell me that they were woken up to the sound of gunshots early in the morning. Police saying the call came in around 3:30. One neighbor tells me she is outright shocked.
Since I've been here, I haven't heard of anything like this happening, so it is a little shocking and it's scary, and I certainly hope that he's okay too, and I hope it doesn't happen again.
Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding this incident. When we have more information, we will bring it to you. The suspect or suspects are not in custody. Reporting in Antioch, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Here we are, 6:31, taking a look at your Code Red forecast. No Code Red weather, just hot. Taking a look, the sun already starting to warm us up. We'll be getting about a degree or two over the next 2-3 hours, and then we skyrocket very quickly back into the 80s before we even talk about having a bite to eat for lunch. That's how quickly we're going to do this. Yesterday, well, first day we hit 90 degrees so far this calendar year. So that's one of the first new things for us. And then we may be up near 90 degrees again later on this afternoon. Monday, a few scattered showers and storms for your Memorial Day. But between now and then, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all. We'll work through a few thunderstorms that we have to time out day by day. And the timing will be slightly different each day. There we are, already up to 83 at 11 o'clock and easily making it well into the 80s for a good portion of the afternoon. I would say mid to upper 80s all the way from noon through 6 or 7 o'clock this evening with unlimited sunshine. So if you've not been watering your plants or your flowers, you got to do it yourself. I would get out there and do it right now. Do it between now and 9 o'clock, or don't do it until you get close to sunset. That heat does not help when you're trying to get that water to go into the soil. 92 degrees this afternoon, 89 degrees tomorrow, and then a little bit, I wouldn't necessarily cooler, but I would just say not as hot on Thursday and Friday, low to middle 80s. We will take a big deep dive into the upcoming weekend. Have your curious question coming your way here in a little bit as well.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get to the very latest happening outside on 65 at Trinity Lane. Coming down from that north side, you can see for yourself, traffic is moving, but things are starting to bunch up and slow down. Have not seen a whole lot of accidents this morning. That's a good thing as you get out and about here. So let's try to keep it calm and keep it that way as you make your way out and about this morning. Same can be said here on 24 at Waldron Road from Rutherford County. Also looking just congested, but nothing that's really slowing you down in a big way. Here's Here's a look at your drive times, and we are hitting some slow spots. 33 minutes in from Mount Juliet, 73 minutes in from Murfreesboro, 68 minutes as you make that drive down from Montgomery County. Good morning out there. Pleasant View all the way down into Whites Creek and Jolton. Typical for this time of the morning.
There is a disturbing story right now in Operation Crime and Justice. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation arresting 12 men who they say sexually exploited children across our state line. And right now on your screen, we're showing you photos of the suspects. The group includes 3 men from McMinnville, 3 from Paris, and 1 each from Columbia and also Murfreesboro. Agents say some of the men posed as teenagers and got minors to send them inappropriate photos and then threatened to expose the children if they did not send gift cards or more photos.
We must watch where our children go online. We must know who they're talking to. And we must have the hard conversations to guide our children.
We also know that the TBI identified 18 victims between 11 and 17 years old. The kids used to make child sexual exploitation material were between 6 and 12. We're also getting some more updates regarding the Titans. We're learning more about Titans House. It's the new Nissan Stadium Experience Center. All right, Titans House is an immersive experience with virtual stadium models and other displays to give season ticket buyers, the suite holders, the business partners, and others interested in this a look at the layout and design of the new venue. Check it out. Titans House is located in Germantown, right at the corner of Taylor Street and 6th Avenue, if you're interested. The construction company in charge of this new experience, though, talked about some of the challenges of working in a century-old building.
This is such a unique project. You have a building that's over 100 years old. So it had a couple of challenges that come with the building, but when you look at what the design consultants Elevate, what they put together for this space, it just turned out phenomenal.
Maybe you're interested in checking this out. Well, do keep this in mind. Titans House is available by appointment only to current season ticket holders and those on the new Nissan Stadium wait list. All right, that means I'm out. Just ahead though, solar storms are creating some beautiful light shows and also big problems for farmers. Why the impacts could give this year's crops some trouble. And how about the slithering snakes leading to power failures? The number of unexpected outages that surprise snakes have caused right here in the mid-state. And coming up on Fox 17 News this morning during our 7 o'clock hour, Metro Council set to take a stance on the debate to arm teachers. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse has the very latest from folks on both sides of this very much so heated debate. Welcome back. 6:38 is the time. Those beautiful pink, green, and purple skies that we've talked about in the past may cause some farmers to ultimately see a red bottom line. We're talking about the geomagnetic storms hitting the earth from the ongoing solar flares that we have showed some beautiful northern light photos of. But some farmers tell us across the country and even in Canada that they're now having trouble getting their crops in the ground during key planting season, and that's not good. The flares and storms are zapping global positioning signals many farmers use in steering for their tractors and in finding boundaries, roads, and irrigation systems. In fact, one Nebraska farmer says his entire operation has been shut down. Experts say the full effects, though, will not be known until the crops come back up. All right, let's talk about snakes. Middle Tennessee Electric is now reporting 4 unusual outages over the last 10 days because of what they call, and I'm quoting here, snake incursions. That's right. The agency says the snakes are just climbing up the power poles and causing outages. It's similar to when you trip a breaker at your house. MTE says they have tried multiple snake repellents, but it's just not working. You got to blame it on the snakes sometimes. Hey, we're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning. Nice and hot out there again. This morning already starting off in the 60s to near 70 degrees in Nashville. 92 will be the afternoon. We hit 91 yesterday, which was 1 degree below the record high for that date set back in the 40s. The sunshine could get us near record territory again. We're not quite going to hit 94, which is the record, but when you're that close, that just tells you pretty atypical for this time of the year. So that is where we're going to be, and we're going to take a look at a forecast that moves forward where we're going to bring in some showers and thunderstorms. So knowing when to mow is a big deal here. Do it around sunset tonight and you'll be okay. We have some showers early tomorrow morning, and then we have some thunderstorms tomorrow night into Thursday and continue to pile on the rain into the upcoming weekend. Today's curious question for you out there: what was the first toy to be advertised on TV? The first toy to have a TV commercial. Was it Mr. Potato Head, Cabbage Patch Kids, Barbie, or the Slinky? And we all know the Slinky song to begin with. We'll have the answer coming up for you in the full check of the forecast in a few minutes, and also start piecing together those storms into Memorial Day weekend.
Still clear traffic gets us out to Vietnam Vets at Gallatin Pike coming in from the Hendersonville area. Not dealing with a crash, just typical slowdown for this time of the day as you make that approach now from Sumner County. So heads up, if you are planning on making this trip, just know you're going to have company and plenty of it out there on the roads, and it gets even slower once you get to certain parts of I-65. Here's a look from I-24 at Waldron Road coming in from Laverne this morning. Also starting to bunch up and get slow coming in here from exit 64 on that drive. You can take Murfreesboro Road if you don't like what you see here, but drive times from Murfreesboro into Nashville are about an hour and 15 minutes for now.
Up next, a scary case of road rage where police say a semi-truck forced another truck off the road, and now they're trying to track down a driver. And housing prices in Nashville are pushing locals out of the market and out of the city. What you can do about this. Well, a road rage incident between the largest vehicles that you see on the road. Never a good situation, right? Clarksville police say a semi-truck sideswiped another truck, forcing the driver off the interstate and then just drove away. So police are trying to track down those involved. Police say it happened on I-24 near exit 8 around 2 p.m. yesterday when a tractor trailer driven by, police say, a Hispanic man sideswiped another tractor trailer. Well, that second semi-truck went off the interstate, across an on-ramp, and then into trees. The woman driving, though, was hurt and rightfully so shaken up. Now police are trying to track down the semi-truck that left the scene, which should have damage to the right side of the trailer. So if you know anything about this particular incident, you're asked to go ahead and give Clarksville police a call. We have continuing coverage right now on unlicensed taxis creating problems across Music City. A local cab company is demanding more regulation to protect drivers, locals, and also tourists. Now, Shelley Williams is who we spoke with. She is the operations manager at Nash Vegas Cab Corporation. Williams says they're taking a financial hit with the increase in unlicensed taxis. That's because their company pays thousands of dollars in permit fees and insurance that fraudulent companies do not have to pay for. And she adds that fake taxis charge outrageous prices instead of using a meter, which is required in Metro Nashville. She also says if the driver of a taxi company leaves, then they have to follow certain rules.
And within 72 hours, they have to remove their logos. They have to remove their equipment professionally, and they have to get their cab back to the original color that it was.
So the problem is not everyone is following these rules, which is why Fox 17 News, we reached out to the Transportation Licensing Commission for an interview, and they said they were not available yesterday, but they are sharing more updates because they have told us, yes, they're aware of reports of people posing as taxis, and they say they are now working with enforcement staff to go ahead and address this serious issue.
Having to leave was one of the most difficult things that I've done.
Well, in the economy this Tuesday morning, high home prices are pushing some folks, some Nashville residents, they say, as you just heard, out of the state. And a local housing shortage is a big reason to blame for the skyrocketing prices. Well, because of rapid growth, a new report does show Nashville needs to gain 5,000 homes per year in order to keep up. Local realtor Craig Edwards says this comes as the construction rate is down more than 30%.
We don't have the houses, the number of houses that we need, the number of homes out there. So that creates a tremendous demand on the ones that we do have. And that in turn helps raise those prices.
For people struggling to buy a home in this market, Edwards suggests meeting with your lender to go ahead and get your financing ready to go, to get those questions answered. He also says that there are programs available to help with money. Edwards says you may need to go ahead and check out houses outside of Nashville in order to find the home for you. We are now going to check in with our Code Red meteorologist. He is also the question of the day guru. Do you like your new title there?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. I mean, days like this, let's have a little fun and get a little knowledge bomb. You can get a drop at the water cooler or whatever later today. So here's the question. What was the first toy to be advertised on TV? Mr. Potato Head, Cabbage Patch Kids, Barbie, or the Slinky?
So I'm going to go with my daughter's favorite toy.
Okay.
I'm going with Mr. Taterhead.
Mr. Taterhead. You are 100% correct.
That's right.
Mr.
That's
Potato
right.
Head was the first televised. Mr. Potato Head came out in 1952. Cabbage Patch Kids in 1982. That was the outlier. Came out way after the other ones. And then Barbie in 1959. The Slinky is the oldest.
I redeemed myself.
1945. There you go. But the Slinky song, I think, just sticks the most to most people. Taking a look here. What to wear? Summer clothes, just like yesterday. Whatever you wore to try to stay cool, do the same type of wardrobe and you'll be okay. Out the door this morning with no umbrellas. We need the sunglasses, maybe an extra bottle of water, and we have temperatures that will quickly climb 75 degrees by 9 a.m. That is a very quick climb. We'll be in the 80s before we even get to lunchtime. No rain today. Let's talk about tomorrow. Waking up tomorrow morning, I will be tracking a few dying down showers and weak storms into the area. Here's 5 a.m. through 8 a.m. Most of that holds together west of I-65 and fizzles into our eastern counties. Then we're dry late morning into early afternoon. Sunset tomorrow, though. A few showers and storms begin to settle in that could be a little bit stronger when it comes to wind, and these will move in overnight. Once again, the best chance for that thunderstorm activity going to be west of I-65. Here's 1 a.m. into Thursday morning, and then we continue with an on and off pattern for the rest of this week. I've updated and tweaked Memorial Day itself just a little bit. We're going to look at that in your 7-day forecast before we get to 7 o'clock and become your only live and local news source.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Hail the size of tennis balls fell on the Oklahoma City area Sunday night. Other images compare what fell to objects like eggs, ping pong balls, and quarters. And cicadas are emerging in the Quincy, Illinois area. This year, two broods not seen together in more than 200 years continue popping up in parts of the Midwest and Southeast.
Listen to Off the Radar. New episodes every Tuesday.
Steer clear traffic. We are following the situation just east of town on I-40 at Fessler's Lane. You can see where TDOT is on the scene with a couple of cars pulled over on the shoulder of the road, and you can get by. Just know that crews were out here getting some debris out of the road earlier this morning. Up to 3 cars were pulled over. This is going outbound, so this is leaving the city going towards the airport. Is where you're going to run into this. Crews are giving the appropriate room, or drivers, I should say, are giving crews the appropriate room there on the shoulders. You can't get by. You can always use Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike is a good way to steer clear. We're also looking at a slow go coming in from I-65 at the Antioch area, or excuse me, I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway coming in from Antioch. The traffic there at a crawl, which is typical for this time of the morning, about an hour and 15 minutes getting in right now from Murfreesboro.
Fox 17 News is investigating a lawsuit against a one-of-a-kind cattle operation right near the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Tennessee's Attorney General sued Browning Cattle Company. The suit claims manure from the Clay County operation is causing high levels of E. coli in nearby creeks.
Our farm lifestyle and our way of life is under siege here with this cattle operation, and has been for 2 years.
Browning has done everything that any government entity has asked for.
The company pressed pause on all operations, but ultimately wants to bring in 9,000 head of cattle. Our Fox 17 News investigative reporter Kelly Avellino breaking down this cattle battle. Do not miss this story. It is tonight on Fox 17 News at 9. In national headlines now, the Environmental Protection Agency is warning of a cybersecurity threat to public water systems. So how does this impact us? Well, the agency says 70% of the water utilities they inspected do not meet the standards from the Safe Drinking Water Act to prevent attacks. Some of the issues they say they discovered include outdated passwords and easily compromised login information. National security leaders say letters have been sent to governors across the country about the threats and also the importance of taking action in order to protect drinking water. There are officials who say China, Russia, and Iran, they have all already disrupted water systems with these particular cyber attacks. Cicadas and your pets. Has your dog eaten too many cicadas? Mine did. We're going to tell you what vets want you to be on the lookout for. And coming up on Fox 17 News during our 7 o'clock hour in just a couple of minutes, Metro Council is set to take a stance on the debate to arm teachers. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse has the very latest from folks on both sides of this issue.
At 2.9% for
6:54 is the time, and right now on this beautiful Tuesday morning, we're taking a live look out back here in Metro Center area, the river right there. Beautiful Tuesday on tap. If you like 90-degree temperatures, then yes, you're going to really enjoy today. If you don't, well, just enjoy some air conditioning. We're going to share the full forecast, including how we're watching out for a stormy pattern that's right around the corner in a couple of minutes. Let's talk about consumer news, though. There is a price war brewing at 2 major retail chains that ultimately might save you a buck or two. Target is cutting prices on about 5,000 of their most regularly purchased items, and they plan to cut more. Target and Walmart are competing for shoppers who are looking to save after inflation pushed up the price of food, housing, and all the essentials, really. Target says they have already cut the price of about 1,500 items heading into the busy Memorial Day holiday weekend. Shoppers who join the company's Target Circle Card program, they said are going to receive an additional 5% discount. So maybe you want to go ahead and look into that program. Well, we understand it's cicada season. They're loud, and even though they're harmless, they're not going to bother you. If your dog starts to eat too many cicadas like mine has, that's when you can see some trouble, unfortunately. Veterinarians say cicadas are harmless to humans and even good for yards and gardens, but for dogs with sensitive stomachs, they can cause big issues if large quantities are ingested.
Cicadas, we are getting a lot of calls about it. So a lot of dogs like the taste of them. I've heard they taste like peanut butter, so it makes sense. Eating 1 or 2 is fine. Some dogs are really sensitive, so they may get some GI upset. When we eat a bunch of them, we are seeing dogs vomiting, having some diarrhea, maybe with some blood, and then they might need to be seen by a vet.
Wait, hold on now. She said that cicadas taste like peanut butter. Interesting. Another problem that vets say they're seeing right now are ticks. We always talk about that, though. You know this. They recommend keeping your animals on flea and tick prevention year-round to prevent any kind of tick-related illnesses. Okay, Greg, I saw you over there Googling, do cicadas taste like peanut butter? Is that why folks are frying up cicadas?
Well, if you cook them, it changes how they taste. But if they're just alive, like dogs are trying to eat them, it's a nutty taste with a little bit of a hint of asparagus. So
Okay.
now we're like cicada connoisseurs. I don't know.
Well, I guess this does make more sense. Now I know why my Doberman is back. That's a whole nother
It's
story.
like yum, yum, yum. You know, just not too many. Everything in moderation, right? Taking a look here for the weekend, we got to talk about some rain that's going to move in. Not raining the entire weekend, but each day comes with its own chance here. A few showers and thunderstorms for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's not a rain all day type of an event at any point this weekend. However, we're going to talk about a lot of rain that does come down, meaning we could actually end up having some areas of some standing water by the end of the weekend. Multiple rounds of storms for the weekend itself. Severe weather threat, though, that remains low. Not concerned about severe weather for the weekend. The one chance we might see a strong storm or two would be overnight tomorrow night into Thursday. And I get a new look at future track when we get into 7 o'clock. So we'll take a look and see if anything has been adjusted when it comes to the timeline for any rain tomorrow. Today, rain free and 92.
Rain free and 92. All right, we're going to take a quick look at your steer clear traffic and take you east of downtown. On your screen right now is a live look of I-40 over at Fessler's Lane, and you can see for yourself TDOT is on the scene, flashing lights, a disabled vehicle pulled over on the right shoulder. We're going to give you your full traffic report, including how you can avoid this area and just the spots that you also need to be mindful of out there, coming up in a couple of minutes. Well, in entertainment headlines, Peloton is pausing the use of Diddy's music, Sean Combs. According to TMZ, the company posting on their private members' Facebook page, writing, quote, "We take this issue very seriously and can confirm Peloton has paused the use of Sean Combs' music." This comes after a video from 2016 resurfaced showing the rapper kicking and shoving his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. This is not the first time that Peloton has removed an artist's music. The brand previously removed all of Kanye West's music back in 2022 after his anti-Semitic remarks. Katy Perry has officially signed off as a judge on American Idol. I know a lot of Katy Perry fans out there, but she's not going to be on there anymore. On Sunday's season finale, several of the season's contestants, including winner Abby Carter, they performed a medley of Perry's hits. Perry herself also performed What Makes a Woman. She announced in February that, she's going to be leaving this particular singing competition. Perry, though, has served as a judge on American Idol with Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan since back in 2018. Stay with us, though. Our 7 o'clock hour is starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, police say this woman attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. The serious charges she's now facing.
And we could be going for a repeat performance of heat back up near 90 degrees, but I'm also focusing on storms into the Memorial Day weekend.
Steer Clear Traffic has us looking at I-40 at Fester's Lane. This is just east of downtown. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear and why this slowdown is here to begin with.
We're going to start, though, by saying thank you for joining us here on a busy Tuesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I am Justin McFarland. Jen Waddell has the day off, but Fox 17 is your only live and local news source with you from 7 until 9. And we do want to provide an update for you this morning, and a sad one at that, as the father of that 10-year-old who was swept away during a storm and ended up going underneath the street under a storm drain is now making sure that he is thanking everyone by his organs being donated out there after his death.
Yeah, so his father providing a heart-wrenching update. Rutherford County School Superintendent Dr. Jimmy Sullivan announcing over the weekend that Asher Sullivan, the little boy in this photo, passed away Saturday. Asher, as Justin mentioned, was swept into a storm drain while playing with friends in Murfreesboro. That was on May 8th. Dr. Sullivan says his family held an honor walk just yesterday and escorted Asher to the OR elevators to begin organ donation. He says they were notified that Asher's donation saved 4 lives.
Well, this morning, a call to action to help seniors who are struggling to find affordable housing here in Nashville.
It's a big issue, and right now, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is speaking with a woman who was nearly facing homelessness before neighbors, and thankfully, a local organization, they swooped in to help her. Hi there, Karen.
Good morning. Pamela R. Maxwell is a low-income senior citizen, and she tells me she is disabled. This is somebody's grandmother that was at risk of living on the streets if it had not been for people who helped house her and a local organization, Awake, that helped find her a place to live in that was affordable. That place is right here behind me, Home Mission Haven. She's set to move in this week. But her story is a grim reality for some senior citizens in Davidson County who might not have had the same opportunity. The income they make doesn't match the increasing price of housing. Maxwell tells me she signed up for affordable housing from the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency and tells me she was placed 59th on the waiting list. The stress of being homeless gripped her. She tells me luckily neighbors rallied behind her and one housed her. You might know her, Representative Afton Bain, and connected her to an organization that helped place her in that housing complex you just saw. Pamela tells me more needs to be done by the city to help people who experience what she went through.
I just wish that they would get better housing for people like me, you know, that don't have the kind of income that, you know, that they're asking 3 times, you know, what you get. That's just ridiculous. I mean, some people don't have that kind of income.
If you know an elderly loved one or you know anyone who's a senior citizen who is was facing the same issues that Pamela was. You can direct them to their website of the local organization of Awake, weareawakenashville.org, to get some help. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:03, looking at a forecast of, well, really kind of the same stuff we had on Monday. We're almost repeating the process, and then everything changes tomorrow. But right now, enjoy some sunshine. Temperatures aren't bad yet. We're 60s and 70s. It will get hot very quickly. We did it yesterday, so saw our first 90-degree day of the year. We hit 91, which put us just 1 degree below the record of 92 set back in the 1940s. Now, we average our first 90-degree day on May 27th, so we did it about a week ahead of time, but not too far either direction to where it's not typical for this time of the year. But there it is, so close to a record. Now, we started off a little bit cooler than we are this morning. That means we're a better chance of getting back to 90 in more locations than we did yesterday. Stormy, though, to end the week. Few showers and storms track in starting tomorrow, and then they will be there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well. This is your last completely sunny day until next week. There's that 90, though, at 4 p.m., so very warm, a little humidity. We'll work through pollen counts, humidity, and track that incoming rain for tomorrow, coming up in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic gets us out to I-40 at Fesser's Lane. This is going to be just east of town, leaving town to be exact. This is where crews have been dealing with several cars that were disabled. There was reports of debris in the road a little bit earlier in the morning. Haven't seen the debris, but we've definitely seen the aftermath as a lot of cars have been pulled over there for the last few moments. TDOT is there. Metro Police are there. One lane is shut down while they continue to deal with that. You can use Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike as a good way to steer clear. Coming in from the east side, a slow go coming in from the south and east side, 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. We're talking about an hour and 20 minutes coming in from Murfreesboro right now.
Now to Operation Crime and Justice. A woman is charged with attempted murder after witnesses say she attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. Metro Police say it all started when the driver told Derica Scavelli to sit down and be quiet.
Now, police say the Scavelli pulled out a knife. The driver tried to get away and was hurt in the process. So this is leading us to our question this morning. Do you feel safe on Nashville public transit? A lot of you are chiming in so far. 84% of you say no. Close to 16% of you say yes. There's still plenty of time to chime in for yourself. You can scan the QR code there on the side of your screen. You can also join us over on our X account. You can find us at Fox Nashville. Williamson County School Board members are not happy this morning at all about a brand new state law that is drawing the lines on how they can ban books in libraries. We're going to tell you why some are concerned that the new rules will land them in court.
And we also want to say thank you for joining Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, your only station, live from 4 until 9. When everyone else goes to pre-recorded network coverage, we stay live and local for you, tracking everything you need to know.
Fires.
More breaking news this Tuesday morning as we get some more updates about the deadly turbulence that hit a Singapore Airlines flight on its way to London. From London to Singapore, ultimately leaving one person dead and dozens others hurt. Singapore Air now says that the plane plummeted more than 6,000 feet over the course of 4 minutes. It happened this morning as the plane was flying through stormy weather near Myanmar. It was eventually, though, diverted to Bangkok. Singapore Airlines has not released the identity of the person killed in this turbulence, but they do say 30 other people were hurt. 30. They say 211 passengers and 18 crew members were on board at the time.
What new this morning, the Williamson County School Board is speaking out about a brand new state law that changes the way the books are reviewed for removal from school libraries. The new law requires that the school board read and review books 60 days after complaints are filed with them. Some school board members are afraid that too many requests at one time will make a very heavy load at the school board, and the new rules will be impossible to put in place.
I don't have a solution with it. I'm voting against it just out of principle because it's bad policy, it's bad for kids, it's bad law. And I say that also, again, I want to emphasize with full respect and appreciation for our legal team and the policy committees that has tried to cobble something together out of this pile of crap that we've been given by the state legislature to put it.
There are books that are in the libraries that should not be in the hands of children. and that's why it's here. And we had the law come out a few years ago, and we didn't know what the heck to do with it. Now we've got some strict rules, and we don't know what to do with that.
Well, the new board also, the new rules, I should say, broadens the type of books that can be removed. Some school board members are afraid some classic books could be removed from the library under the new rules. What kind of books? Well, we're going to show you some examples coming up in a few.
And also coming up next, your COVID forecast takes us from another hot day today. We can already see it cooking up out there over Metro Center to some showers and storms that will cook up going in toward the weekend.
Steer clear traffic. We continue to follow that problem on I-40 at Fester's Lane just east of town, causing some slowdowns. How do you get around this? I'll tell you a way so that you never even have to see it. Also coming up, Metro Council set to take a stance on the debate to arm teachers in the classroom. We're going to hear from folks on both sides of the issue with Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse.
Feels good.
7:13 is the time. We've got continuing coverage on unlicensed taxis. They are creating problems right here in Music City.
Yeah, a local cab company is now demanding more regulation to protect drivers, locals, and tourists. A local taxi company says it's also hurting their drivers.
That's because they pay thousands of dollars in permits as well as insurance fees that unlicensed drivers do not have to pay. Now, people like Shelly Williams is the operation manager at Nash Vegas Cab Corporations. Williams says they're taking a hit with the increase in unlicensed taxis because their company has to pay all the permits and the insurance costs that the fraudulent companies don't bother with. She also says that the unlicensed taxis charge outrageous prices instead of using a meter, which is required by the city of Nashville. She also says this about taxi drivers who leave the company.
It's very hard on our drivers because our drivers are upstanding and they have families to support.
Well, the Transportation Licensing Commission says that, yes, they are aware of reports of people posing as taxi drivers, and they say they are working with enforcement staff to go ahead and address this serious issue. Hey, if you would like to sound off or, read more about this story, go to Fox Nashville, our Facebook page, and fox17.com.
So let's talk about our weather out there. Greg Bovis is here with us to tell us about another day that could approach 90 degrees.
Very close to it, not for everyone, but the Nashville and just immediate surrounding area, really good shot at it. You get toward the upper elevations, think Cumberland Plateau, we're talking middle 80s. So still warm for this time of the year. That elevation does help out until about June though, so not quite as tough. But yep, if you're anywhere near downtown, buckle up, because we're going to deal with a lot of heat here for today. What does the weather situation look like when it comes to your drive? Well, nothing's happening. A little bit of mugginess out there, definitely a sunny start for us, just a couple of clouds mixed in. Warm, temperatures already above the 70 degrees mark for many of us. We'll give it no worries and a green light. 71 degrees right now in Nashville. On our way to 91, we're going to gain 20 degrees very quickly. A little stickiness, not by any means a very muggy day, but a touch of humidity will be felt here for you. Pollen counts are up today too. So you have a 90-degree day, loaded with sunshine, a little mugginess, and tough pollen. Let's take it for what it is. This might be the air conditioner day. But starting tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms move in all the way into and out of the upcoming weekend. Here's today with one click of the button, just a few clouds. Here goes into tomorrow morning. This is the new thing in the forecast. Originally, this next weather maker was slated to come in a little later in the day on Wednesday. Now there'll be a few showers and weak storms, 5 a.m. through 8 a.m., dying down as they move in. Second half of the morning tomorrow, relatively dry. Same with the first half of the afternoon. Then 7 o'clock through the overnight, a broken line of showers and storms will move in, and that could give us, especially west of I-65, the possibility of a strong storm or two in the mix. We're not going code red for it just yet, but if we keep seeing updates that we could have strong weather, the time would be overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We get rid of the heat for a couple of days, Thursday and Friday. We've got to talk Memorial Day, though, the weekend. There will be action on the radar, how strong those storms could be and how much rain we could put down. That's coming your way in about 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic gets us over to the west side. This is going to be I-40 at 46th Avenue. Just picked up this crash a few seconds ago. You can see it there for yourself. An 18-wheeler involved. It's all on the shoulder of the road, but it is going to slow you up in a major way. That ramp that you're looking at there, those are the folks coming down from 440 there, joining up with 46th Avenue there, joining up with 40. The folks coming down from 440, joining up with 40 right there at the 46th Avenue exit. I know there's a lot of fours there, but heads up as you make that drive in. You can use Highway 70 Charlotte Avenue as a good way to steer clear.
Well, new this Tuesday morning, Metro Council is meeting today to vote on a resolution supporting Metro Nashville Public Schools' decision not to allow teachers or staff to carry guns on campus.
Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse joins us live this morning outside the Metro Courthouse, where the council will be meeting in a few hours.
Yeah, good morning, Jen and Erica. So Jen and Justin, excuse me, this comes right after Governor Bill Lee signed a bill into law that gives districts the okay to allow teachers and staff to carry if they so choose.
Gloria Mays used to be a teacher. Now she works for Defense Systems, which focuses on active shooter training. Mays believes this leaves Metro schools in a vulnerable position.
It's really unfortunate. To me, it seems a little irresponsible.
Mays says the first thing that comes to mind is the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. She says an SRO was present that day.
And he made it to the exterior of the building within a minute and 50 seconds of the attack starting and chose not to go inside. But 2 teachers did choose to go inside, 2 unarmed teachers. And, they unfortunately both died that day.
Mays wonders if those 2 teachers were armed, would that have led to a different ending? Metro Council member Antoinette Lee is the lead sponsor on the resolution, backing MNPS's decision, saying it's bad policy.
We listened to our citizens, and we listened to our parents, and we listened to our staff members. This law says that someone will have a gun. Of course, they'll have to go through training, but we won't even know who it is. And so parents are up in air about how it's being done.
Under the state law, the director of schools and police will know who is carrying on campus, and each staff member must finish 40 hours of training and a mental evaluation. Mays says the law is better than nothing.
To just write it off from the start, if you're not even going to consider it, is, like I said, I think that's why it's dangerous, because it's leaving such an open vulnerability at these schools.
Councilwoman Lee says it's a sad time of the world we live in, but this law is wrong for Nashville.
I don't want us to use this as a Band-Aid and think this is over, because this is not. This is not going to solve the problem. The problem needs to be looking someplace else.
Now, MNPS says that it has a great relationship with MNPD, and right now it's safest for active duty officers to carry on campus, and the school districts have no intention of changing that. Reporting live at Metro Courthouse, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Peyton. Well, coming up, Titans season ticket holders will get a special first look inside the new Nissan Stadium, and the stadium's not even done yet. We're going to tell you more about Titans House.
And just ahead, another hot day on tap. If you like the 90s, today is your day. We're going to have your weather update, and of course, we're tracking your steer clear traffic updates, telling you the areas that you need to work around.
Fail.
7:24 is the time here on this Tuesday morning, and we're back, and we're learning more about the Titans House. It's the brand new Nissan Stadium Experience Center.
But there are a lot of rules about who can check this out. All right, Titans House is an immersive experience with virtual stadium models and other displays to give season ticket buyers, suite holders, business partners, and others interested in the layout of the design. They get a new look at this, the new venue.
Yeah, it's going to be located over there in Germantown, right at the corner of Taylor Street and 6th Avenue. Now, the construction company in charge of the experience had to take on a really old building to put this experience in. That building was more than 100 years old. So how do you show something so futuristic in a building that's so old?
The most challenging part of this build out, I would say, is, just you have a building that's over 100 years old. There was actually a printing company that occupied this space. There were some floors that were not level, and if you know our construction, we need level floors and we need vertical lines and horizontal lines. So we had to make sure that we could get the floors level, create a safe space, and one that functioned well.
Well, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be able to check it out. Titan's House is available by appointment only to current season ticket holders and those on the new Nissan Stadium wait list. Does that include you?
No, it does not.
Okay.
But you never know. There may be a media pass or something. I mean, they got to let us in at some point.
That's a good point.
Let's talk about Operation Crime and Justice and a wild story out of Clarksville. We are used to hearing about road rage all the time, but normally they're between cars. This road rage situation happened between semi-trucks. Two 18-wheelers, one that sideswiped the other, forcing the driver off of I-24 before that driver went tearing away from the scene.
A very scary situation, and police say it happened on I-24 around exit 8 yesterday afternoon when a tractor trailer driven by a Hispanic man, according to police, sideswiped another trailer. That second semi-truck went off the interstate, across an on-ramp, and into the trees. This could have been a really bad situation.
Really could have been really awful. Now, the woman driving that truck that left the road ended up being shaken up a little bit. She's okay, according to authorities, though. In the meantime, the other driver just left the scene. According to authorities, he should have some damage there to the right-hand side of that semi-truck. If you have any information about this, you're asked to contact police.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. A very busy weekend ahead, and unfortunately, showers in the forecast.
Yeah, unfortunately, rain will be the bigger story than anything else. Temperatures won't be unmanageable. That's today. We were at 92 degrees and we hit 91 yesterday. Today will be dry every other day. And the 7-day forecast has showers and storms that takes you all the way to Memorial Day. So we'll take a look at the weekend as a whole, and I'll give you my first little cliff notes of what it's shaking out to be. 86 degrees both days, Saturday and Sunday, 81 on Memorial Day itself. Pop-up storms are likely all 3 days. So we start thinking immediately, storms, what does that mean timing? Daytime hours have a chance for them, multiple rounds of them each day, but the severe weather threat remains low. Rain, though, could get quite a bit of it here. A few inches between now and the end of the upcoming weekend, especially in our northwesternmost counties, so minor flooding could be a bigger deal than any potential severe weather taking us into the upcoming weekend.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get to the very latest happening out there on I-40. This is going to be near 46th Avenue, right where I-40 and 440 meet there on the west side. Traffic getting together there, but it is slow there at the merge spot. You could try to use Charlotte Pike as the best way to steer clear because it is going to be slow back there, especially on I-440 as you make that approach there from the west side. We're also still dealing with the aftermath of a crash happening on I-40 at Fesser's Lane. This is on the east side of downtown. Tow trucks in place to take away a couple of cars. You can get by, though, but you can use Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike to steer clear.
Coming up on Fox 17 News, we have continuing coverage of the cattle battle out in Clay County. Our investigative reporter, Kelly Avellino, has the updates.
And housing affordability problems are affecting seniors, especially in Nashville. Karen Aguilar has the very latest on that.
For the people.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, we're taking a deeper look into rising housing costs and how it's impacting seniors in Nashville.
Waking up this morning, temperatures already climbing. We're already above the 70-degree mark in Nashville. We could hit a second day in a row of 90 or above, and then I'm tracking weekend storms.
Steer clear traffic at I-40 at 46th Avenue. This is coming in from the west side. A tight converging of traffic right where Briley meets I-40. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear.
Did you hear Greg? 90s okay. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning, a hot Tuesday for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I am Justin McFarland. Fox 17 News is your only local news source, live with you from 7 until 9 as Jen Waddell has this day off. But this morning, a call to action to help seniors who are struggling to find affordable housing.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar speaking with a woman who was nearly facing homelessness before neighbors and a local organization swooped in to help. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Erica. A group of neighbors helped Pamela Maxwell move, and a local organization, Awake, that helps senior citizens find affordable housing, found housing for her right here behind me in this apartment complex, Home Mission Haven. She's moving in this week, but Maxwell tells me the journey here was rough. Maxwell is a senior citizen, disabled, and makes a very low wage. She tells me she signed up for affordable housing for the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency and tells me she was placed 59th on the waiting list, a reality that Awake says happens far too often for seniors in Nashville. Maxwell tells me that if it hadn't been for the help, she would have been on the streets. As a reminder, this is somebody's loved one, somebody's grandma that could have been facing homelessness.
When you don't have a place to stay, you don't have a roof over your head, and you're worrying about, where you're gonna go and how things is gonna turn out, and it's very stressful. Rough. I mean, like I said, I have some really good neighbors that helped me, and Miss Afton and her guy helped me a lot.
We are working on getting numbers from MDHA on how many senior citizens are in the same situation that Maxwell was. We're waiting to hear back. And if you have a loved one or you know a senior citizen that needs to find affordable housing, you can go to weareawakenashville.org. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:33 our time, and one of the first things we said here as we started the half hour is, 90 again later on today. The sun is already beating down on downtown, and it will get us well up to the 90-degree mark very quickly in this afternoon. We could spend between noon and around 4 p.m. at or above the 87, 88-degree mark, so a good chunk of the day. What's new this morning? We hit it yesterday, our first 90-degree day of 2024. We hit 91. The record high is 92. We missed it by a degree. Today up near 90 again. Wednesday through Monday, though, a few scattered storms will be in the forecast for us here. All clear when it comes to code red. Temperature's going to be at the 80-degree mark by 10 o'clock. The entire day from 10 o'clock through 7 or 8 p.m. right in that ballpark will be at or above 80. Hot one ahead of us, but the big story here in your 7-day forecast after today's heat will be thunderstorms that arrive tomorrow, and a stormy pattern settles us into the end of this week and all of the upcoming weekend. We'll look at that coming up on Future Track in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic at 7:34. Quick look here at I-40 at 46th Avenue. This is as you make your drive into town. The ramp, I need to correct myself. That ramp that you see on the left-hand side of your screen, that's not I-440. That is Briley Parkway you're coming down. So Briley Parkway merging on with I-40. I-440 is up ahead of this just a little bit. In order to steer clear, you want to try to take Charlotte Pike as you get around this there on the west side, because it's going to slow you up coming in from Bellevue and Kingston Springs and anywhere west of town. This is 40 at Fessler's. They had a crash there earlier this morning. It is now cleared, so traffic a lot better coming in from that east side.
In Fox 17 News Investigates, we've been following a state lawsuit against a farmer in Middle Tennessee aiming to have 9,000 cattle.
It would be the only operation of its kind in the state that large. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino is here live to update us on the Browning Cattle Company's push to make a feeding operation a reality and the backlash that they're getting from neighbors.
That's right, guys. The Tennessee Attorney General is currently suing the Browning Cattle Company in Clay County, saying that the Department of Environment and Conservation, or TDEC, found high levels of E. coli in creeks and streams nearby last year. Browning had operated for about 2 years or so without a permit for thousands of cattle, according to officials. Now, I confirmed right now the Browning Cattle Company has scaled back to under 1,000 cattle, if not under 500 cattle, after a court order. But Browning is still pushing to have a permit for that high volume of cattle, and it's a feeding operation, I should tell you. Despite some neighbors staunchly opposed to it, they say some of their own livestock nearby have died and that the quality of their community streams and creeks is in jeopardy. Browning's attorney says that Browning has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to put in the best environmental barriers and protections at this point.
Our farm lifestyle and our way of life is under siege here with this cattle operation, and has been for 2 years.
Browning has done everything that any government entity has asked for, and additionally, we have a consulting team that has some of the best and most advanced environmental consultants in the nation.
Browning says he's now stopping all feeding operations until he gets an approval or that permit from TDEC. I can also tell you it's a 300+ page document with a lot of graphs, charts, maps, and calculations on how waste would be managed there. Tomorrow on Fox 17 News at 9, I'm going to update you on the status of Browning's push to have that 9,000 cattle and why regulators have sent back that application multiple times. I'm also looking into whether the state can deny an application based on community feedback, community outcry, or that the person has operated for some time without a permit. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Kelly Avellino, thank you so much for joining us. Just ahead, a teenager's father right here on your screen now facing serious charges after she died riding an ATV on her birthday.
And repeat offenders released on low bonds. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier with how the tides are changing with the proposed legislation.
There's Oak Grove Players Club and win up to $2,500 free play just for signing up. Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. All kinds of awesome.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Ponce Law.
We have some new updates out of Murfreesboro this morning. Murfreesboro police say a man is now behind bars after barricading himself inside a home. It was yesterday. Officers say it happened over on Evanback Court around 4 p.m. Police say that's when Dominique Merriweather threw a Molotov cocktail at his neighbor's home.
Now, they say that he then attacked two other neighbors before barricading himself inside of his home. Merriweather was finally taken into custody around 8 p.m. He is now being charged with felony reckless endangerment. Additional charges against him are now pending.
And now a really sad story in Operation Crime and Justice. The father of a teenager killed in an ATV crash on her birthday last Monday in Nashville is now out on bond after facing multiple charges, including criminally negligent homicide involving a minor.
The police say it was a 14-year-old named Melanie Mosqueda who died after the ATV she was riding in hit the driver's side of a Jeep on Darbytown Drive. They say that Victor, the man you see pictured here, let Melanie and another teen ride that ATV without supervision. Melanie died at the hospital a day after the crash.
At 7:41, we're checking in with our Code Red meteorologist. On wind to water.
This is important right now because if you didn't water your plants or your flowers yesterday and you don't do it today and you're hitting upper 80s and 90s most of the afternoon, that's not good. We're going to have a lot of rain by the end of the week, but I would say in the next hour or two, if you can get out there, if you're still at home, give them a little drink of water before you head out, or just wait throughout the afternoon until around sunset and you'll be okay. But those afternoon hours, all you do is end up hurting the plants more than helping them out, and they're just way too darn expensive to be doing that. Just take a look here. A little mugginess out there, not too bad though. A bit humid compared to the weekend though, it's not bad at all. So we're gonna have the humidity going up and we're gonna have the pollen counts going down into the weekend. So if you're an allergy sufferer, Saturday and Sunday for the beginning of Memorial Day weekend, not all that bad. However, after today, that's it. We're done with the completely dry days. So a couple of clouds this afternoon. We're aiming for 92. Hit 91 yesterday, so almost a carbon copy of yesterday. If you don't know what a carbon copy is, literally just a copy. Shower, rinse, repeat kind of a day. Taking a look here. 5 a.m. takes us into 8 a.m. A few showers breaking down as we go into tomorrow morning. Late morning into the afternoon, we will be dry. Then tomorrow evening into the overnight of Thursday, I want to focus on a little bit more as well as your upcoming weekend and Memorial Day itself coming up in the next check of your forecast.
All right, let's get to your steer clear traffic. Let's take you to I-440 at Nolensville Road. That is where we are dealing with the crash there. You'll be able to see if you take a look at the top of your screen. You can see a fire truck coming around the bend there and jumping on to the interstate, headed to that crash that we are having a hard time seeing. Here is more people showing up. There is the Nashville Fire Department and ambulance as well. Looks like they're looking for the scene. They haven't quite found it yet, but it's on I-440 there near Nolensville at that exit. That's exit 6. Be advised that crews are there looking for something. We'll get a better tracking on what they find coming up in a few.
If you are sick of criminals getting out of jail for low bond or no bond and then committing more crimes, you're going to watch the story we have next, an effort to stop the madness.
Don't get...
7:46 is the time. Accused criminals out of custody with no or low bond, arrested again for more serious crimes.
It's a growing trend in Middle Tennessee, and victims' rights advocates hope new state laws will end this cycle. But are these laws enough? That's the big question. Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier with the ongoing investigation.
Yeah, it really is. Nashville continues to suffer from people who are being arrested for terrible crimes, released for very low bond or no bond, and then doing something as bad or even worse.
This is Jamian Taylor, a busy man this spring. He is charged with the following 4 crimes. He threatened to kill a worker at the Nashville Rescue Mission on March 21st. Then on April 4th, he assaulted a woman in an elevator trying to kiss her. She got away, but he was arrested for false imprisonment and assault. No big deal for night court magistrate John Manson, who set his bail at just $3,000. So he gets out for $300. Then 10 days later, he's breaking into cars at Beaman Toyota. This time, night court magistrate Jerice Clinton sets his bond at $100. So he gets out for $10. Then 2 weeks later, he follows, chases, and terrifies a 15-year-old girl walking home from the bus from MLK Magnet High School. Verna Wyatt from Tennessee Voices for Victims.
I can't even imagine the terror that that young girl still has, because she knows by the grace of God, he didn't get hold of me.
Unfortunately, Mr. Taylor isn't an exception. He's the rule. One of the endless examples of low bond leading to high terror. Lou Wilbanks, Nashville activist who runs a popular social media site.
They're turning around and getting right back out and doing the same stuff. And I mean, literally days after they were released. And that is frustrating. For one, it's concerning and scary.
And who does? Even Nashville Chief of Police John Drake says it's unacceptable. Some of his officers have arrested people on consecutive days.
And when the chief of police goes on television and says the criminal justice system is failing the people, I mean, it scared me, and just seeing his face. And that's got to be frustrating if they're doing their job and other people aren't.
Majority Leader in the State House, William Lamberth.
My constituents do not feel safe knowing that a person's going to be arrested 2, 3, 4, 5 times and not be held accountable by any court system. And so all they're asking is that for repeat violent felons, hold them accountable, keep us safe, make sure that when our children are going to school or we're headed to the grocery store or church, that we don't have to worry about some violent felon gunning one of our friends or loved ones down, that we know there's going to be held accountable.
There are 5 big changes coming July 1st. Judges are ordered by law to consider public safety as the #1 consideration for bond, and they can no longer consider poverty as a reason to lower or remove bond from someone charged with a serious crime. If a criminal commits 6 misdemeanors in a short period of time, it's a felony. So now that guy that keeps breaking into cars every night will actually face jail time. And if an officer stops someone who is in violation of their bond conditions, they can arrest them on the spot. Can you believe they couldn't do that before? Here's the scenario. Dennis Ferrier is out on bond with the condition he can't have a firearm. Whoops, I'm caught, right? Oh no, policeman can't arrest me. He has to send a note to the DA's office, and then they request a hearing in court, maybe in a couple weeks, to discuss whether or not to revoke my bond. That changes July 1st, along with a new law where you don't get released because you are mentally incompetent. This after the tragic shooting of Jillian Ludwig. Some believe this all began because of the backlog of criminal cases that happened during COVID.
And so what the word out there on the street is on many criminals is that they're not going to be held accountable, that they're going to be continue to get low bonds, continue to let out, continue to commit crime after crime, and there's no accountability. Well, I have some bad news for them, because come July 1, when all these bills go into effect, there's going to be a reckoning. And many of those folks that are committing crimes over and over and over again, they're going to go to jail and they're going to stay there, and they're not going to come out for a long time.
Well, we're going to see what happens. Huge changes. We'll see if they're big enough to actually change the tragic consequences that are changing lives forever here in Nashville. I meant consequences. I didn't say that.
Oh, well, for sure. And listen, things are happening out there with these folks getting out with low bonds. But the folks who are letting them out, I just want to try to clear that up a little bit here, and not to say you didn't do it, but they're judges, but they're really magistrates or commissioners, and not traditional judges the way you may think of them.
So
even though they do have a lot of power.
And you know this because you're down right, because they're setting these.
Absolutely.
So the judicial magistrates are appointed, and then but they have an overseer, Judge Anna Escobar, who has not returned my calls.
Wow.
And because I'd like to talk, because
Yes, sir.
Jim Todd jumped in last week.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
if you saw that, and said, you know what, we're looking at this. We're going to figure this out. So it's caught the judge's attention. They know. And you're right. There's those 6 criminal judges. A lot of times that bond doesn't even get to them until
Yes.
right, as
Yes,
you
sir.
know.
Yes.
So you got, but the general sessions and judicial magistrates have been setting low bonds, and this has got to end.
July 1st is when it goes into
Some of
effect.
these changes, but as everyone knows, there's workarounds. So you say, you saw me, right? I committed Dennis Ferrier. What will you say, like, well, he's okay. We don't think he endangers public safety.
Yeah.
So even though you have to consider public safety first, what if you decide that Dennis Ferrier is not that dangerous? Because there is, right?
Yes, sir.
There's you get to pick. You get some wiggle room.
All right, Dennis. Out of time, but there's more to come for sure. Let's get to Greg right now. He's got a look at your forecast.
That we do. 4 legs helping me out with this one here. Well, if Frankie wants to get up, apparently refuses to morning. I don't blame you when it's hot outside and sunny. So taking a look here, our dog of the day, Candace, sent in from Spring Hill. Once you get up and moving, the quicker you do it, the better you're going to be for the morning dog walk. 72 degrees at 8 a.m., 75 at 9, low 80s already at 10. We're going to spend from 10 o'clock all the way through 7 o'clock this evening at or above 80. We'll go from noon to 5 p.m. in the upper 80s to near 90. Coming up in a few minutes before we even hit 8 o'clock, a look at the upcoming weekend and some storms for your Wednesday.
Steer clear traffic at I-40 and 46th Avenue over there in the west side. As you can see, traffic there moving along despite the fact that we do have a bit of a slowdown there on the shoulder of the road right where Briley meets I-40. We are going to tell you to take Charlotte Pike is the best way to steer clear coming in from the west side. We'll continue to follow other sides of town shortly.
Also ahead here, why Elvis Presley's iconic home might be up for grabs this week.
Plus, new information on the opening of Lainey Wilson's bar. We're going to tell you when Bell Bottoms Up is set to open their doors.
Is Fox
7:56 is the time on this Tuesday morning, and new this morning, Elvis Presley's granddaughter is now suing to stop the foreclosure sale of Graceland this weekend.
The granddaughter owns the late singer's historic Memphis home. Well, now she alleges the company behind this sale does not exist and is using a fraudulent document to make a claim to the estate.
According to the lawsuit, this particular investment company and a leading LLC is claiming that Lisa Marie Presley borrowed money from this particular company and gave it to Graceland Deed. Elvis' granddaughter is arguing that the loans never happened. A person listed as a notary on the document says that she never notarized anything for Lisa Marie Presley. Something tells me we have not heard the last of this.
Well, this August, Tennessee is going to be the first state in the country to cover the cost of diapers for some families and children. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services approved an amendment to Tennessee's Medicaid waiver just yesterday.
Now, the amendment will become the first Medicaid agency in the U.S. to cover the cost of up to 100 diapers per month to 10 care members. And of course, more parents will qualify for TennCare under these new regulations.
I know it's early, but let's go ahead and talk about Lower Broadway, because new this Tuesday morning, Lainey Wilson's bar in downtown Nashville is getting an opening date. I mean, it's right around the corner. The country star announcing that Bell Bottoms Up is going to open May 31st, just in time for her weekend concert series over at Ascend Theater.
Now, the 3-story bar is located at 120 3rd Avenue South. It's the former FGL House, Florida Georgia Line House. She announced plans for this new bar a little bit earlier this month.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. Greg, I think my allergies are just all over the place.
Then they're going to be today and tomorrow. You're completely right. Your sniffles are not denying you the actuality of the pollen that is up and out in the air right now, because we've not had a lot of rain in a couple of days, so it's not been pushed back down to ground level. It will be by the end of this week, though. Taking a look, that was today. Just push the button real quick as nothing happens. 90 degrees and some sunshine for the afternoon. Here's tomorrow morning, though, 5 a.m. through 8 a.m. Some weak showers and weak storms track into our western counties. Might even make it as far as Nashville. Then we die down across the board late morning. Here's noon tomorrow through the afternoon. Now, the timing on this has changed a touch. It's looking like as early as 5 p.m. we could begin to see some showers and storms in our western counties. The earlier this moves in, the worse it's going to be for us. We don't want this to happen. So if this trend holds true, 7 o'clock into the overnight, there could be a few thunderstorms that could get a little bit on the stronger side. Now, we get another update to weather here coming up in about 2 minutes about the category risk we settle into, that 1 or 5. I'll have a brand new look at that and see if anything has changed overnight into this morning with that new update of it potentially moving in earlier for our Wednesday evening.
Steer clear traffic this morning. Let's take a quick look here at that traffic coming in from the west side of town. As you can see, traffic is flowing in this morning. No big problems so far as you get out and about. We did have a crash over there on the shoulder, but thankfully they've been able to get that out of the way. We're going to continue to follow things with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9.
All right, check this out. Are you afraid of snakes?
Yes.
Okay, this story might not be for you then. No. Middle Tennessee Electric is reporting 4 unusual outages over the last 10 days because of what they describe as, and I'm quoting here, snake incursions.
Okay, the agency says the snakes are climbing up the power poles and causing outages, very similar to when you trip a breaker at your house. MTE says they've tried multiple snake repellents, but nothing is working. So if your lights go out, it's not because you didn't pay the bill, it's because the snake saw something up the pole that they really wanted to have.
Yikes. Hey, stay with us. Our 8 o'clock hour is starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, police say this woman attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. We're going to tell you the serious charges she is up against.
Yesterday was our first 90-degree day of the year. We could go there again this afternoon, but big changes when it comes to thunderstorms going into the rest of the week. We'll look at those in your forecast.
Steer clear traffic takes us over to the west side. This is going to be I-40 at 46th Avenue. Looking pretty good now that we've cleared a crash over there. We're going to talk about some other areas of town coming up.
We're going to get started by saying thank you, though, for waking up with Fox 17 News on a Tuesday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I am Justin McFarland. Fox 17 News, your only local news source, live with you from 7 until 9.
Now to a Fox 17 News update this Tuesday. The father of a 10-year-old boy who was swept into a storm drain during severe weather earlier this month says that his son is now saving 4 lives thanks to organ donation.
The Rutherford County School Superintendent Dr. Jimmy Sullivan announced over the weekend that his son Asher passed away on Saturday afternoon. Asher was swept into a storm drain while playing with friends in Murfreesboro back on May the 8th. This is after a strong storm had pushed through and flash flooding happened. Dr. Sullivan and his family held a honor walk yesterday and escorted Asher to the OR elevators where the organ donation would begin. He says they were notified that Asher's donation helped to save 4 lives.
Well, new this morning, we are taking a closer look talking about the push to help seniors who are struggling like so many to find affordable housing.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar spoke with a woman who is facing homelessness. That is before neighbors and local organizations stepped in to save her.
Good morning. Pamela Maxwell is a disabled senior citizen who tells me that just a few weeks ago she would have been sleeping on the streets. But she tells me, thanks to a local organization, Awake, that helps senior citizens find affordable housing, she'll be getting the keys to her new apartment this week. And that apartment is right here to my right, Home Mission Haven. She tells me that this is something that she never thought would be possible. She tells me the journey here was difficult. Maxwell tells me she was evicted and signed up to find affordable housing from the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency. but ended up being 59th on the waiting list. She tells me she didn't know she'd be able to find anywhere, a reality that Awake says many low-income seniors in Nashville are unfortunately facing.
I just wish that they would get better housing for people like me, you know, that don't have the kind of income that, you know, that they're asking 3 times, you know, what you get. That's just ridiculous. I mean, some people don't have that kind of income.
Although Maxwell was able to get some help, the reality is that, again, many senior citizens here in Nashville are not able to be so lucky. We reached out to MDHA to find out if there is a light at the end of the tunnel for some of these senior citizens, and we're waiting to hear back. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Okay, Karen, thank you so much. If you enjoyed yesterday's 90-degree temperatures, you're going to love today as well.
Rerun for sure. But if you didn't enjoy yesterday's 90-degree temperatures,
me.
It's very similar. So just keep that in mind here. Maybe use the early hours you've got right now or close to sunset for the errands or just to be outdoors, because we did this yesterday. We hit 91. That was 1 degree below the record high temperature that was set back in the 1940s. Now, we usually get our first 90-degree day right around May 27th, so we're pretty close to that date. This is not that atypical to see 1 or 2 of them popping up this time of the year. There was that record. Close to record breaking for today. I have a 92 in the forecast, and the record is 94. I don't see us hitting 94, but definitely right within that same threshold of 90, 91, 92, and quite a bit of sunshine for today. Stormy to end the week. So we'll exchange the heat for some humidity and also some thunderstorm activity. Taking a look, Memorial Day thoughts. We're going to have some Memorial Day storms as well, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of the holiday weekend. Right now, though, weather is not impacting our morning commute. Just some sunglasses needed, but everything else is dry, and we've had no visibility issues this morning. Coming up, we'll look ahead to that stormy pattern, unfortunately, that's ahead of us, and how quickly today we're going to get up to that potential of hitting 90 degrees.
Steer clear traffic. Let's take a look at the very latest happening here on I-440. This is going to be I-440 in Nolensville. You can see a couple of different things I want to point out very quickly. Not only is there a Metro Police motorcycle officer who is on the scene there dealing with the car, but up in front of it, if you look carefully, it looks like there's a chair or a couch or a piece of furniture sitting there on the shoulder of the road as well. Like someone sat it there, maybe to watch traffic go by or something. Unsure why that's sitting there or how that got there. But just know it's all there and could be in your way this morning as you get out and about. So we'll continue to follow things on the road, let you know what else is out there with Steer Clear Traffic live through 9.
And now to Operation Crime and Justice with a very scary situation on a WeGo bus. A woman is charged with attempted murder after witnesses say she attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife.
Metro Police say this all started when the driver told Derica Sevilla to sit down and be quiet. Now, police say that she then pulled out a knife and tried to get away. The driver was hurt in the process.
That is so scary. We also want to hear from you all. We're asking this question over on our Fox Nashville X account. Take a look. Do you feel safe on public transit in Nashville? 83.4% of you all say no, you do not feel safe. Listen, you still have plenty of time to go ahead and let us know what you think. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen or head on over to our Fox Nashville X account.
Well, coming up next, Williamson County School Board members are not happy about a brand new state law on the books that is going to be banning books in libraries. We're going to tell you why some are concerned that the school system will just end up in court over this.
And quick reminder here, Fox 17 News is your only local station from 4 all the way up until 9. That means when everyone else goes network, we stay live and local for you. You could even check out the weather update scrolling during commercial breaks. If it were
8:09 is the time, and new this morning, the Williamson County School Board is speaking out about a brand new state law that changes the way that books are removed from school libraries. Now, this new law requires that the school board read and review and then vote on books 60 days after complaints are filed. It also broadens the rules for the kind of books that can be removed. Now, some are concerned that some of the long-standing staples and classics in libraries, like the book Roots, written by Alex Haley, could be removed.
This also became an official state book of Tennessee. Our legislature passed that bill. In fact, it was Gino Bolso, who was the co-sponsor of the bill, and I think he was right for doing it, who named this an official state book of Tennessee. How can we pull this out of the library? I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. If we take it out, we're going to get sued and we're going to lose. And if we don't take it out, we're going to get sued. This is an impossible task that we have been placed upon us. It's a task that we should not have. This is an anti-intellectual law. It is anti-education. It is terrible law.
Well, school board members say they are talking with their lawyers in an effort to try and stop problems before they start, if that is all possible. Happening today, the Kentucky primary elections are taking place. Polling places are open right now. They opened 2 hours ago, 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. Presidential primaries for both the Democratic and Republican parties are taking place there in the Bluegrass State. 5 districts are holding primary races for United States representatives. Also, the Kentucky state and local elections are also on the ballot, including primary contests for state senator and state representatives. In the high cost of homelessness, there is a growing concern about the city's homelessness issues, but the annual volunteer-led counting effort points to permanent housing changes. Now, the Metro Office of Homeless Services' new report states about 2,000 people experienced homelessness back on January 25th and in the early morning of January 26th. That count includes people sleeping outside and other places not meant to live in. The count also includes those who are in transitional housing and emergency shelters. Now, that data also shows that 67% of the homeless population on the night of the count were men, and nearly 80% reported having some type of disability.
Coming up in your forecast, looking ahead to a stormy pattern after we aim for 90 degrees once again today. The full outlook into your Memorial Day weekend.
And steer clear traffic takes us down to I-65 at Armory Drive on that drive in from the south side. Do you have that doctor's appointment over there at Vanderbilt? You could get there on time. Looks like traffic is not going to get in your way too much. We've got the details when we come back.
If you are sick of criminals getting out of jail for low bond or no bond and then committing more crimes, you're going to watch the story we have next, an effort to stop the madness.
Feels good to
Well, accused criminals out of custody with no or low bond arrested again for more serious crimes.
It's a growing trend here in Tennessee, and victims' rights advocates hope that a brand new state law will try and end the cycle. But are the new laws enough on this?
Fox 17 News' Dennis Ferrier with the ongoing investigation.
And like you said, change is coming, period. What's it going to do? Bigger question. Nashville continues, however, to suffer from people who are being arrested for terrible crimes, released for very low bond or no bond, and then doing something as bad or worse. This is Jamian Taylor, a busy man this spring. He is charged with the following 4 crimes. He threatened to kill a worker at the Nashville Rescue Mission on March 21st. Then on April 4th, he assaulted a woman in an elevator trying to kiss her. She got away, but he was arrested for false imprisonment and assault. No big deal for night court magistrate John Manson, who set his bail at just $3,000. So he gets out for $300. Then 10 days later, he's breaking into cars at Beaman Toyota. This time, night court magistrate Jerice Glanton sets his bond at $100. So he gets out for $10. Then 2 weeks later, he follows, chases, and terrifies a 15-year-old girl walking home from the bus from MLK Magnet High School. Verna Wyatt from Tennessee Voices for Victims.
I can't even imagine the terror that that young girl still has, because she knows by the grace of God, he didn't get hold of me.
Unfortunately, Mr. Taylor isn't an exception. He's the rule. One of the endless examples of low bond leading to high terror. Lou Wilbanks, Nashville activist who runs a popular social media site.
They're turning around and getting right back out and doing the same stuff. And I mean, literally days after they were released. And It's frustrating. For one, it's concerning and scary.
And who does? Even Nashville Chief of Police John Drake says it's unacceptable. Some of his officers have arrested people on consecutive days.
And when the chief of police goes on television and says the criminal justice system is failing the people, I mean, it scared me, and just seeing his face. And that's got to be frustrating if they're doing their job and other people aren't.
Majority Leader in the State House, William Lamberth.
My constituents do not feel safe knowing that a person's going to be arrested 2, 3, 4, 5 times and not be held accountable by any court system. And so all they're asking is that for repeat violent felons, hold them accountable, keep us safe, make sure that when our children are going to school or we're headed to the grocery store or church, that we don't have to worry about some violent felon gunning one of our friends or loved ones down, that we know there's going to be held accountable.
There are 5 big changes coming July 1st. Judges are ordered by law to consider public safety as the #1 consideration for bond, and they can no longer consider poverty as a reason to lower or remove bond from someone charged with a serious crime. If a criminal commits 6 misdemeanors in a short period of time, it's a felony. So now that guy that keeps breaking into cars every night will actually face jail time. And if an officer stops someone who is in violation of their bond conditions, they can arrest them on the spot.
Can you believe they couldn't do that before? Here's the scenario. Dennis Ferrier is out on bond with the condition he can't have a firearm. Whoops, I'm caught, right? Oh no, policeman can't arrest me. He has to send a note to the DA's office, and then they request a hearing in court, maybe in a couple weeks, to discuss whether or not to revoke my bond.
That changes July 1st, along with a new law where you don't get released because you are mentally incompetent. This after the tragic shooting of Jillian Ludwig. Some believe this all began because of the backlog of criminal cases that happened during COVID.
And so what the word out there on the street is on many criminals is that they're not going to be held accountable, that they're going to be continue to get low bonds, continue to let out, continue to commit crime after crime, and there's no accountability. Well, I have some bad news for them, because come July 1, when all these bills go into effect, there's going to be a reckoning. And many of those folks that are committing crimes over and over and over again, they're going to go to jail and they're going to stay there, and they're not going to come out for a long time.
Huge changes, but we will see if they actually work, because as you both know, the judges have opinions, right? They call it an opinion, and they can have an opinion and let someone out if they want. But we do know that the Davidson County judges are meeting about this. It's got their attention, especially after Chief Drake came out.
And hearing about the first gentleman getting a $10 bond, that's a joke.
Yeah, $10 is pretty much, that's some spending money, right? I mean, most people have that folding money in their pocket. Like, okay, $10, here, I'm out.
All right.
I'm going to go terrorize somebody else. See you later.
Dennis, I know you continue to follow this,
Yes,
especially after the new stuff comes in on July the 1st. All right, let's get to a quick check with Greg.
Yeah, we're cranking up the heat, Justin. We're going to be up near 90 degrees once again later on this afternoon. Coming up on the Code Red forecast, we'll plan some storms taking us to the weekend.
And a disabled tractor trailer on the interstate of I-40 near Fester's Lane. We're going to tell you the best ways to steer clear of this.
And we're talking Titans. Titans season ticket holders getting a special first look at the new Nissan Stadium experience. What we're learning about Titans House.
The latest styles.
All right, Titans fans, we are now learning more about Titans House. It's the new Nissan Stadium Experience Center in Germantown.
Now, Titans House is going to be an immersive experience with a virtual stadium, models, and other displays. And it's all to give season ticket buyers and suite holders and business partners and other interested parties, perhaps media personalities, a chance for a way to look inside the brand new venue for the Tennessee Titans. Titans House is going to be located in Germantown, right at the corner of Taylor Street and 6th Avenue, in a building that's pretty old, about 100 years old. So we talked to the construction company about the challenges of trying to paint something so futuristic in a building that's so old.
The most challenging part of this build out, I would say, is, just you have a building that's over 100 years old. There was actually a printing company that occupied this space. There were some floors that were not level, and if you know our construction, we need level floors and we need vertical lines and horizontal lines. So we had to make sure that we could get the floors level, create a safe space, and one that functioned well.
I do wonder why they picked Germantown. By the way, Titan's House is available by appointment only to current season ticket holders and those who are on the new Nissan Stadium wait list, which eliminates a whole lot of people.
Yeah, I wonder if they won't broaden it out a little bit more, maybe as the stadium gets closer to opening. We still have years to go.
I want to check it out, though.
Stadium's not set to open until spring of 27.
Huh.
Tons of time to get between now and then, and taking a look here, even just the next 24 hours will give us some big changes. We're at 75 degrees right now in Nashville, mostly cloudy in spots, but it's going to be a mainly sunny day that does get up near 90 degrees this afternoon. How quickly do we get there? I mean, we get into the upper 80s right around lunchtime. It'll be 86 at noon and then upper 80s 1 o'clock all the way through 7 o'clock this evening, every single hour, and all loaded with sunshine. I am tracking a few showers and storms that will move in tomorrow morning and another round late in the day as we go into our 8:30 half hour. And also stick around not only for that, but also if you want to be a kid at heart right now, taking a look at this curious question I've got. And this is one of the first things I show you. If you just give me 4 more minutes of your time to stick around here until the 8:30 half hour starts. What was the first toy to be advertised on TV? Think back. Was it Mr. Potato Head, the Cabbage Patch Kids, Barbie, or the Slinky song that once you hear it, it just sticks in your head all day? I'll have that, and again, a look ahead to some rain tomorrow and plan going in toward the upcoming holiday weekend.
Steer clear traffic takes us out and about to I-65 at Dickerson Pike. That's on the north side of town. We've got a slow go extending not just here, but all the way into town from here to the I-65 I-24 junction, down to Trinity Lane, down to Fern Avenue. It's going to be this slow the whole time. You can take Dickerson Pike to steer clear the actual Dickerson Pike, not just the exit, but get on Dickerson and roll that into town instead. We'll continue to follow other sides of town, give you drive times if we can, coming up in a few.
Also coming up, Metro Council is set to take a stance on the debate to arm teachers. We're hearing from folks on both sides of this heated debate.
And home affordability causing problems for seniors here in Nashville. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar has more on that story.
Ponce Law, working with engineers at Roadproof, have developed a network connecting us to traffic cameras in Middle Tennessee, often giving us the video proof needed to...
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, we're taking a deeper dive, talking about the rising housing costs and really how it's impacting seniors in Nashville.
And we have seen our first 90-degree day of the year, and we keep the heat going. For how long is the really big question, and when do storms return? We're going to fill in all the blanks in a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic takes us to the north side of town. That's I-65 at Dickerson Pike, and it's not good so far this morning. We're going to tell you the best way to try and steer clear of this mess coming up in a few.
Yeah, we got you covered. Thank you so much for waking up with us on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I am Justin McFarland. Fox 17 News, your only live and local news source, with you from 7 until 9. Jen Waddell has this Tuesday off. We're going to begin with a call to action to help seniors who are struggling to find affordable housing.
It's a big issue, and our Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar spoke with a woman who was facing homelessness until neighbors and a local organization stepped in. So, Karen, how did they make this happen?
Good morning. We've all been on the waiting list before. But what happens if you are on a waiting list that would leave you homeless? Well, unfortunately, that's a reality for what Pamela Maxwell says almost happened to her. She is a senior citizen who is disabled and makes a very low wage. She tells me that she signed up for affordable housing for the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency and was placed 59th on the waiting list. A reality that Awake, a local organization that helps find affordable housing for seniors, says happens far too often in Nashville. Maxwell tells me that if it hadn't been for neighbors helping her move and house her, or Awake placing her in a home that she could afford, she would have been on the streets. Now, this is somebody's grandmother, and there are so many more that might not be so lucky. Pamela tells us how tough it got for her.
When you don't have a place to stay, you don't have a roof over your head, and you're worrying about, where you're going to go and how things is going to turn out. And it's very stressful. Rough. I mean, like I said, I have some really good neighbors that helped me, and Miss Afton and her guy helped me a lot.
This week, Maxwell is expected to get her keys to her new apartment and move in there. But again, unfortunately, many seniors do not have that opportunity. Awake is encouraging you to contact them if you know any senior citizens that might be facing potential homelessness. You can go to their website at weareawakenashville.org. Reporting live in Nashville, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And here we are at 8:32, already cranking up the heat. Right side of your screen, your temperatures are already into the 70s in many spots. We're pushing for 90 just like yesterday. Our high could hit 92. So what's new this morning? Well, this will be our second one in a row. That's one of the big stories. But also we hit our first one of the year yesterday, so we could go back to back with this. And then tomorrow, we're not going to be up near 90 again. We're going to have some showers and storms that move in, and then they will be scattered in nature Wednesday all the way through Memorial Day. We're in all clear for code red right now, but we're going to keep our eyes on that. And as far as weather's been going this morning, we have no wet pavement. We just have some sunshine. No worries weather related when it comes to getting around town today. Told you about 5 minutes ago that we would give you a curious question answer. Hopefully you stuck around. If not, take a look real quick. What was the first toy to be advertised on TV? It was Mr. Potato Head back in 1952. So there you go. Taking a look at future track. All of today is going to be dry, again up near 90. The whole rest of the forecast this half hour is going to be moving us into this upcoming weekend. And a look at that 7-day forecast.
Steer clear traffic gets us out and about this morning, takes us to I-65 Dickerson Pike. There on the north side is a slow go for sure. Coming in from the Madison, Goodlettsville, Hendersonville area. This is going to be you running into a backlog of traffic here. You want to try to take Dickerson Pike if you can to steer clear. Gallatin Road also will help you steer clear of this. And it's not just here. It runs all the way into downtown. So it's going to be a slow ride no matter what. Still dealing with I-40 at Fester's Lane. Got a disabled tanker truck on the side of the road there, slowing things up just a bit. You can take Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike as good ways to steer clear.
We're now sharing updates about Metro Council. They're meeting today to vote to pass a resolution supporting Metro Nashville Public Schools in their decision not to allow teachers or staff to carry guns on campus.
Fox 17 News Peyton Muse joins us live just outside of the Metro Courthouse and the City Hall location there where the Metro Council will meet in a few hours.
Yeah, that's right, Justin and Erica. So this comes even right after Governor Bill Lee signed off on the bill giving districts the okay to allow teachers and staff to carry if they choose. And this is what looks like a direct answer to the governor's wishes. Gloria Mays used to be a teacher. Now she works for Defense Systems, which focuses on active shooter training. Mays believes this leaves Metro schools in a vulnerable position.
It's really unfortunate. To me, it seems a little irresponsible.
Mays says the first thing that comes to mind is the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Parkland, Florida. She says an SRO was present that day.
And he made it to the exterior of the building within a minute and 50 seconds of the attack starting and chose not to go inside. But 2 teachers did choose to go inside, 2 unarmed teachers. And, they unfortunately both died that day.
Mays wonders if those 2 teachers were armed, would that have led to a different ending? Metro Council member Antoinette Lee is the lead sponsor on the resolution, backing MNPS's decision, saying it's bad policy.
We listened to our citizens and we listened to our parents and we listen to our staff members. This law says that someone will have a gun. Of course, they'll have to go through training, but we won't even know who it is. And so parents are up in air about how it's being done.
Under the state law, the director of schools and police will know who is carrying on campus, and each staff member must finish 40 hours of training and a mental evaluation. Mays says the law is better than nothing.
To just write it off from the start, if you're not even going to consider it, is, like I said, I think that's why it's dangerous, because it's leaving such an open vulnerability at these schools.
Councilwoman Lee says it's a sad time of the world we live in, but this law is wrong for Nashville.
I don't want us to use this as a Band-Aid and think this is over, because this is not. This is not going to solve the problem. The problem needs to be looking someplace else.
And Metro Nashville Public Schools says that they have a strong relationship with Metro Police. And as far as the active duty officers go, it's safest for schools to let them carry on campus, and they have no intention of changing that at any time. Reporting live at Metro Courthouse, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, coming up, a teen's father is now facing charges. This is after she died while riding an ATV on her birthday. We'll be right back.
We're covering international headlines this morning. Israeli officials have reportedly seized a camera and broadcasting equipment belonging to the Associated Press. Now, this reportedly happened over in southern Israel just this Tuesday morning. Israeli officials accusing the news organization of violating the country's new ban on Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, if you're not familiar, is a 24-hour news channel. The AP, Associated Press, is denouncing this move and also urging Israel to go ahead and return the equipment and reinstate the live news channel feed immediately.
Well, new this morning, Murfreesboro police say that the man behind bars after barricading himself inside of his home yesterday. Officers say it happened on Evanback Court around 4 p.m. That is when they claim that Dominique Merriweather threw a Molotov cocktail at his neighbor's home. They say he then attacked two other neighbors before barricading himself inside of his home. Merriweather was finally taken into custody around 8 p.m. He is now being charged with felony reckless endangerment. Additional charges against him are pending. In Operation Crime and Justice, the father of a teen killed in an ATV crash last Monday in Nashville is out on bond facing multiple charges, including criminally negligent homicide involving a minor. Take a look here. Police say that a 14-year-old named Melanie Mosqueda died after the ATV she was riding in hit a Jeep on Darbytown Drive. They say that Victor, the father in this case, let Melanie and another teen ride that ATV without supervision. Melanie died at a hospital about a day after the crash.
8:41, we are going to check in on your Tuesday tail wagon forecast happening over at the Sound Stadium. For baseball this evening, it is fantastic. If you have the opportunity to get out there, please do. The weather is going to be on your side. Take a look on your screen right here at 6 o'clock this evening, 87 degrees, going to be a hot one. You're going to want to have your baseball cap. Then by 10 p.m., 71 degrees. It's going to be a warm Tuesday on tap. Let's check in now for your Steer Clear traffic updates with Justin McFarland.
All right, 8:42, quick look at what we're dealing with at I-40 at Fester's Lane. This is over on the east side. We've got a disabled tanker truck there on the shoulder of the road. Not sure what they're waiting on, but it can't move for now. You want to try to take Lebanon Pike or Elm Hill Pike is the best way to steer clear in that area as you make that slow drive in east of town. Here's a look at I-440 at Nolensville. We were watching a piece of furniture in the road here a little bit earlier. That is out of there, and you look like you're in much better shape as you approach I-65 there on the south side.
Well, coming up, we have continuing coverage on the cattle battle over in Clay County. Investigative reporter Kelly Avellino sharing the update.
Charlotte, in a city as captivating as it is evolving.
Well, Fox 17 News, we've been following a state lawsuit against a farmer in Middle Tennessee aiming to have, listen to this, 9,000 cattle.
This would be the only operation of its kind in the state of Tennessee that large. Kelly, I've never even heard, Fox 17 News, Kelly Avellino, I've never even heard of a 9,000 head cattle anywhere in the state of Tennessee, but it's happening out there at the Browning Cattle Company, and now they are trying to deal with the backlash from this operation.
Right, it's called a CAFO, a confined animal feeding operation. The Tennessee Attorney General is suing the Browning Cattle Company in Clay County, saying that the State Department of Environment and Conservation, or TDEC, found high levels of E. coli in nearby creeks last year. Now, Browning operated for some 2 years without a permit for those thousands of cattle, according to officials. I confirmed right now the Browning Cattle Company has scaled back to under about 500 cattle after a court order, but Browning is still pushing to have a permit for ultimately a high volume 9,000 cattle, feeding them and then shipping them out west for slaughter. Neighbors are staunchly opposed to this. They say some of their own livestock have died and that the quality of their community's streams and creeks is in jeopardy. Browning's attorney says that he's spent hundreds of thousands of dollars so far to put in the best environmental barriers and protections.
We've not had these problems for the 26 plus years until he moved in.
The largest 48 acres of protective buffers in the state of Tennessee.
All right, and Browning says he is now stopping all cattle feeding operations until he gets that T-deck permit. And I can tell you it's a 300-plus page document with a lot of graphs, charts, and calculations on how waste, both solid and liquid, would be managed from all of those large animals. Tonight on Fox 17 News at 9, I'll have the status update on Browning's push to have those 9,000 cattle and why regulators have repeatedly sent back that application multiple times. I'm also looking into whether the state can deny an application based on community outcry or input, and because that person has operated for some time without a permit. Erica and Justin?
300 pages. Wow. Really, Evelina, thank you so much. I do want to check in now with Greg Bobus. Did you share the curious question of the day answer? Did I miss that? Oh, okay.
Very beginning of the 8:30. But what I did ask is what was the first first toy to be advertised on TV? Mr. Potato Head.
I knew the answer.
Oh, yeah. So you knew it the moment I asked it. She's like, it's Potato Head. It's also Ryman's favorite
toy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Gotta love Mr. Potato Head. As far as forecast goes, a little bit sticky for us here when it comes to the humidity. Not bad, though. Going into the weekend, humidity goes up, pollen counts go down. Pollen counts are high today. Sunny, 90. Tough to breathe outside. It's going to be one of those kind of days. Now, we'll see our pollen go down because our temperatures will go down and also rain will be coming down. A big shift. Today up near 90 again. Nothing happening all the way through 6 o'clock. Overnight looks good. Tomorrow morning, our first stop here on Future Track. 5 a.m. taking us through 8 a.m. A few isolated and weak showers and thunderstorms track through. Late morning hours dry out. Here's noon. Noon to 5 o'clock. Showers and storms begin to fire. As early as 4 or 5 o'clock in our northwesternmost counties. In these areas of dark red showing us some heavier rainfall. We could even have a strong storm or two that tracks through during the evening hours, and then a few more popping up going into very early Thursday morning. Keep that in mind. And the active pattern continues on and off on Thursday into Friday and Saturday. Memorial Day weekend. 86 degrees on Saturday, 86 on Sunday, 81 for Memorial Day itself. Pop-up storms, likely not going to see any severe weather. However, so much rainfall will come down between now and the end of the weekend. There could be some potential flooding or standing water in many low-lying areas by the beginning of next week.
Steer clear traffic takes us over to, this is going to be the latest look at I-40 at Fessler's Lane. There we are, I-40 at Fessler's, there on the east side, still dealing with a disabled tanker truck on the shoulder of the road. Best way to steer clear is going to be using Elm Hill Pike or Lebanon Pike. That is how you get around that. We are still dealing with this particular crash. This is going to be Bradley Parkway and McGavick Pike there on the north side as you approach Opry Mills. Doing okay. You can get by. They are just dealing with a disabled vehicle out there. TDOT is there with Metro Police to try to help out those drivers to make sure they remain safe. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you.
Right now, though, we have continuing coverage on unlicensed taxis creating some problems in Music City. There was a local cab company demanding more regulation to protect drivers, locals, and tourists.
Now, a local taxi company says it's also hurting their business because they pay thousands of dollars in permit and insurance fees that unlicensed drivers simply do not pay. Now, Shelly Williams is the operations manager at Nash Vegas Cab Corporation. She says they're taking a hit with the increase of unlicensed taxis because of all the extra overhead they pay that other companies do not. Now, that fraudulent companies the fraudulent companies pay outrageous prices or charge outrageous prices instead of using a meter, which the city of Nashville requires. She says that taxi drivers, when they leave their company, they've got to do the following things.
It's very hard on our drivers because our drivers are upstanding and they have families to support.
The Transportation Licensing Commission says that, yes, they are aware of reports of people posing as taxi drivers, and they also say they're working with enforcement staff to go ahead and address this important issue. We'll be sure to share any updates on Fox17.com and on air.
Well, coming up, police say that a woman attacks a WeGo bus driver with a knife, and now she is being charged. We're going to tell you exactly the kind of charges that she's facing. Plus, Fox 17 News continues to watch your steer clear traffic. This is a bit of a delay happening on Briley Parkway near McGavick Pike, plus another one happening near Fester's Lane east of downtown. Remember, Elm Hill Pike, Lebanon Pike, the best ways to steer clear.
It's been a tough few seasons.
We have a Fox 17 News update this Tuesday morning. The father of a 10-year-old boy who was swept into a storm drain during severe weather earlier this month says that his son has saved 4 lives, all because of organ donation.
We're talking about the Rutherford County Schools Superintendent, Dr. Jimmy Sullivan, who announced that his son, Asher Sullivan, passed away on Saturday. Asher was swept into a storm drain while playing with friends in Murfreesboro after a storm on May the 8th. Now, Dr. Sullivan says that his family held an honor walk yesterday and escorted Asher to the OR elevators to begin his organ donation. They were notified that his organs helped to save the lives of 4 people.
Another scary update in Operation Crime and Justice regarding a bus attack. A woman is charged with attempted murder after witnesses say she attacked a WeGo bus driver with a knife. Metro Police say it all started when the driver told Derica Scavalli to sit down and be quiet.
Now, police say that Scavalli pulled out that knife and the driver tried to get away and was hurt in the process. Scavalli is now facing charges. Also new this morning, Murfreesboro police say that one man is behind bars after barricading himself inside of a home. This all happened yesterday on Evan Back Court around 4 o'clock.
That's when police say they saw Dominique Merriweather throwing a Molotov cocktail at his neighbor's house.
Wow.
Yeah, they say he then attacked 2 other neighbors before ultimately barricading himself inside of his home. Merriweather, though, was finally taken into custody around 8 p.m. He is now charged with felony reckless endangerment. Additional charges are pending.
In Operation Crime and Justice, the father of a teenager killed in an ATV crash last Monday is now out on bond, but they are facing multiple charges, including criminally negligent homicide involving a minor.
Well, police letting us know that 14-year-old Melanie Mosqueda died after the ATV she was riding hit the driver's side of a Jeep on Darby Town Drive. They say Victor Mosqueda, right here, this man, let Melanie and the other teenager ride the ATV without supervision. Well, Melanie later died at the hospital the day after the crash.
A Fox 17 News update as a second teenager is behind bars charged with criminal homicide in the deadly shooting that took place here. So Metro Police are claiming that they arrested 17-year-old Demantes Moore. This happened yesterday. They say Moore and Marcus Ladd were arguing with Gregory Manning. This all took place on March 11th at the villas of Metro Center. They say that's in North Nashville. Police are saying that during the argument, Manning was shot and killed. Mr. Moore was booked yesterday in the Juvenile Detention Center. Ladd was arrested back in March and is being held in downtown Nashville.
And we're also talking about politics this morning because happening today, the Kentucky primary elections. Polling places are already open. They're going to be open until 6 o'clock this evening. So we're taking a closer look to let you know what's going to be happening on these particular ballots. Look here on your screen. 5 districts are holding primary races for U.S. representatives. Kentucky state and local elections are also on the ballot. That is including primary contests for state senator and state representative.
Last check of your forecast. Greg Boba is standing by.
Yeah, taking a look here of one more hot day, 92 degrees later on this afternoon, and it'll be very similar to yesterday, so it won't catch you off guard if you were out at any point yesterday at that exact same hour, almost exact same temperature. Then tomorrow, game changer. Wake up with us tomorrow morning. I'll be tracking some showers moving into the area and then looking ahead to storms late in the day that will carry us into the overnight.